Well, the final match on the B stream for not only today, but for the whole tournament is upon us. And Mandy, for the third time, we will be casting the Aussies of Team Bliss. They have a rematch beset before them against none other than the French favourites of the Wolverhampton Wolves. And Dan, this is going to be a banger. We already saw yesterday these two teams go ahead in a BO1. It went the full distance 8-6 in Bliss's favour, and now the Wolves are hungry for revenge.
Yeah, keen to get into this one. This is what has become a pretty grudge match, I would say, between these two teams. Mowgli had some choice words for Bliss at the conclusion of the BO1 that happened yesterday, but can he back it up? Can he back up his talk for this game as well? That is going to be the question in this best-of-3 series.
Well, Wolves definitely demonstrated that they deserve to be in conversation for exiting Group D. In that 2-0 over Alpha Altheris yesterday, it was a fairly convincing affair against that Mexican-Brazilian roster, but unfortunately for both of Wolves and Bliss, they will neither go forth into the second phase as the top seed from their group. As we can see, Space Station had a phenomenal performance against Bliss earlier today, and yet it was not easy. It was 8-7, and there was every opportunity for Bliss to take that game. If anything, Mandy, I think seeing Bliss play Wolves yesterday, Wolves had some really dominant, some really impressive rounds. Today, Bliss did not let a single round go by without fighting for it. We had 4, 5, 1 versus 1s, and Space Station only barely took the victory.
Yeah, for sure. I think for Team Bliss, it's just the little margins that unfortunately didn't pull them over the line in today's earlier best of 1 against Space Station. Like you said, so many 1 versus 1s. It really could have gone either way. It felt like the rounds were turning on a dime. Will it be the same against Wolves? I don't know, but I hope that in these few hours that they've had to reset, they can clean up their mistakes, get their head in the game, and chill out.
That's right. As you can see here, the tale of the tape. Now, these teams both have competed in their own respective leagues. Bliss down under in Oceania, where they are back-to-back champions. But Stage 2 was anything but easy. They lost their opening game against Kelton's Knights, which is essentially just a roster of retired pros who have banded together and don't scrim, and Bliss lost to them. So everyone was saying, hang on a second, maybe we're talking about a very different Bliss in Stage 2. Of course, they lost Jigsaw, who got picked up by Koi, exported over to Europe, and yet he's not here. He didn't make it to the major. Koi are down in the dumps, and here's the veto. Mandy, let's get straight on into it. This is going to be fun.
I'm actually so keen for this one. Cons, Labs, and Clubhouse are the 3 maps that we're going to go to. Wolves, they have played Cons once. Team Bliss, their map pick is Labs. They've also only played it once in Stage 2. And so there's really nothing that these two teams know about each other's map pick. They've only got one pod to have gone back and looked on. So I can only imagine these two teams are probably playing into their own strengths. They've had this map workshopped behind the scenes. They haven't shown their cards, they haven't opened up the playbook, and they want to bring in something brand new to stay away from elimination.
Isn't that amazing? We have the 2 newest maps in the game and the 2 newest maps in the map pool alongside the oldest map in the map pool, Clubhouse. This is going to be a fantastic matchup. Wolves playing Consulate, we know nothing about what Bliss do on that map. Bliss playing Labs, we know nothing about how Wolves play on that map. And if we get to Clubhouse, we saw Bliss play that this morning against Space Station 8-7, a phenomenal result against a team as strong as America's finest. But let's also not forget that Wolves had a chance to sit, chill out this morning, leisurely watch that map, come up with some counters, and be ready for that decider later today.
I think the philosophy going into both of these initial maps and perhaps even going into Clubhouse is really to play their own game for both of these teams. They're not exactly leaning into each other's weaknesses or strengths or anything like that. They've gone to a map that they go, we workshop behind the scenes, they know nothing, but we know our game, and they're going to trust in it, and that's what they're going to bring into this. They have no idea, Wolves, how strong Bliss might be on Consulate. Same thing with Team Bliss. They have no idea whether Wolves have actually gone and workshopped this map behind the scenes, but obviously because that has slipped through in the best of 3, you know, something must be going down, right? They must have something cooking.
Well, of course, compared to the BO1s that we have seen from Bliss the entire stage long and the 2 games at the major, a BO3 is a very different beast, and we're getting stuck into the newest map in Rainbow Six, the reworked Consulate. And Team Bliss and Wolves will go head-to-head. Yesterday, it was a 70-30 split in the favor of the French. Today, the Aussies have 7% more support, but there is no doubt about it. This is a David and Goliath matchup once again. Wolves are the clear favorites, and Bliss must prove that yesterday was no fluke. They have to do it again.
Just sounds like some more Aussies have woken up around this time for the BO3 to come through instead. Team Bliss taking on Wolves in a best-of-3 series. How exciting it's going to be. In the first ban to jump off for Team Bliss is going to be the Ying. So they do want to take away some of that disruptive execute capability that Wolves might have on the attack. And the Monty, actually a repeat ban for what SSG did earlier today. I might be quoting that one wrong.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But probably taking away one of the tools that your support players like to use. I look back on Fisher Guy and think of how he's been able to enable some of his attacking strategies on top of the Monty, and they just want to cut that out. They don't want to have to deal with that.
Interesting, that Monty ban, because we haven't seen a ton of Monty from Bliss, but it's also, funnily enough, I looked back, Copenhagen Major, W7M also banned it against Bliss, and Bliss got smashed 7-1 in that game. So clearly, a lot of these international teams favoring banning Monty against Bliss over other operators, and there's a lot of other operators you might want to ban out, especially now with Wolves starting on that attacking side. Consulate is not an easy map to attack. But fortunately for them, Bliss have banned out the Solus, enabling a lot of pre-placed drones, and we're already seeing the special drone squad, as you love to see. You love to say, Mandy, both the Twitch and the Flores in this opening round, at least for now.
Yeah, another thing to point out as well with the ban phase going through is that, well, you've got a lot of your roam clearing operators left in the game as well. Consulate can be quite a challenging map to play in through the mid rounds, right? There are a lot of rooms that you need to clear. And so by the time that you actually head your way into the building, having stuff on board like your Jackal, like your Lions, that kind of thing, can make the difference as you clear in through the map. First bomb site of choice for Team Bliss is going to be the one on the ground floor, of course, replacing out the old lobby and piano one. Has now turned into Expo and piano instead, with lobby being sliced off in half with the new rework.
I gotta say, I'm glad you know the callouts, because I've played a whole bunch of Consulate, but my callouts are still a little bit shaky for all of the new rooms. A lot of this map we've seen new rooms placed in, or old rooms have been split into multiple new rooms, and Expo is a great example of that. But this bomb site, we haven't seen a lot of Consulate, at least not in our regions that we've been casting, but I've seen a surprising amount of this lobby, or rather press, and I think it's called press instead of piano, whatever it is. Expo, like I said, I don't know the call-outs, I'll be fumbling my way through it. This bomb site here, not favored in ranked in my experience, but clearly quite effective. And wow, P4, great value early on with that Twitch drone taking out so much utility on the bomb site.
Does look like Wolves are looking for their usual MO, immediately putting on that pressure and focus in towards the bomb site to see what they can collect. But the Bliss are actually putting their pressure upstairs instead, wanting to hold on to their vertical game from up and looking down below. And that's why it's pivotal that some of these Wolves players have jumped on this rappel over on this yellow side of the building to try and take care of business over here.
Look at that, Selma's already placed here on the wall into the bomb site. Will this mute jammer impede the direction of that Twitch drone? It will not, and so the Twitch drone can take it down and open up this wall. Fortunately from Oda, he's got impacts and he can stave at least a little bit of that breach away, but P4's gotten so much value out of these drones. Now information, now Mowgli moves on in. He's looking for the opener, but Oda has moved away and he's found one. Traded on back again, but Wolves sustain a numbers advantage.
Danger mode here for Shinka though as he tries to make his way on into the bomb site. He's worried about the vertical pressure above, and speaking of, that's Fisher Guy that suddenly comes to life, active in the server. Brendo to double down onto Deadshot as well. Now 3-on-2, although the bomb is going down for Wolves.
Nearly half the round remains, and this 3v2 in favor of the defense now is flipped upon its head as they must attack themselves. Mowgli in all kinds of pain at the moment, caught in the dread mine. He is afeared. Brendo's found the first. Low HP Mowgli, which way to watch? Too many angles, too many players to deal with. The first one dealt with handily as the Azami of Brendo looks to protect himself. He has the time to make this one work. Mowgli must reload, but Brendo's good for 3 and good to close the round for Team Bliss.
Oh man, great retake from Brendo as well. Just coming in from the top floor and then coming back down in through the spiral stairs and taking down the players that he needed to make sure they could actually get their way safely back into the bomb site and take down the diffuser. Really nice stuff there from Team Bliss to retain their composure. I think after that first series with Wolves, surely they know that they really cannot extend that much through the map, right? Because the moment that they give up the bomb site, Wolves are going to jump their way on through, and we saw them do that in that first round. Oda was really ready for it. He was on one of those more self-sufficient operators of Legion to make sure he had that passive intel for them actually coming in through Zulu and trying to make a quick entry onto the site. He then comms that to Fisher Guy, who takes care of the vertical, and then Brendo goes in for his massive retake back down the stairs, and Bliss just playing a little bit more closer together, I would say, and a little bit more in towards the bomb site is kind of what they need against these Wolves attacks.
I think the big opening for Bliss there is that their awareness that Wolves are going to be going for things like that on the bomb site so early in the round. We talked about this a lot yesterday on Chalet. How many rounds did we see Wolves go for mini rushes in the mid round straight onto the site? They say, look, Bliss, you're trying to hold the other side of the map. You've got this crazy extension. We don't really care. We see the single point of failure on the bomb site as if we kill this player, we win the round. They go for it. And so Bliss's willingness to be aware of that and their keenness to retake has aided them immensely.
Retake strategy is not something that you normally see as well in Rainbow Six.
Perhaps one of the better bomb sites for it. That's press room and exposition room or whatever it's called. Is it exposition?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, very nice.
Is it press or piano? I don't know. Is it actually? I don't know.
I don't know if it actually has an official call out, but I think I almost never use the official call outs.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Well, in the old Consulate, the room everyone called piano was actually technically called press.
But it has a big piano in it.
And it has a big piano in it. Well, fun fact, we're in a technical timeout, by the way, if you're wondering why we're having a bit of a chin wag. But on Cafe as well, the room everyone calls piano is actually called Cigar Lounge.
Yeah, but then there's also Cigar Shop.
I know. And
so
then
that's not cool.
I've heard people call piano, the room piano, cigar. And I'm like, no, that is not right. That is confusing. If you want to call it lounge, I will allow that. But only if you call cigar shop. Yeah. Anyway, this is the trials and tribulations.
Pedantic.
Oh, I'm a Rainbow Six Siege player.
No, I think the big thing about Consulate is that because you've got the like half-sliced rooms, right, and like lots of like your nooks and crannies and corners. All the teams have got to go through these like call-out dry runs and make names for silly spots and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Because especially when you're journeying through a map like Consulate where it has so many rooms and you have to check everything, you need like specific callouts for like little
side
rat
of the
spots.
room, that side of the room.
Especially room like Expo. Now I'm thinking of labs. That's the next map.
Next
map. One. So yeah, especially rooms like Expo. Like the whole room is Expo, but it's massive. You know, like surely one side of Expo has got to be something, and the other side of Expo.
Yeah, good luck.
Try to say that be something else, you know? Yeah.
Very much so. And yeah, I think Consulate is a map with a lot of those little nooks and corners and crannies and indestructible half walls to hide behind and crouch behind and play around. And that's why it can historically be a very hard map to roam clear, because there are so many little corners for roamers to play.
Yeah.
In comparison to a map like Bank, where there's actually far fewer places to clear. You think on the top floor, if you're roam clearing that top floor, it's actually kind of hard. There's not as much indestructible cover to hide behind. Now, we're almost through this technical timeout. I can tell you guys right now, all 10 players are in the lobby. We're doing the final checks, and we're about to start once again. The score, 1-0 in favor of Bliss after a successful defense of Expo and Piano.
I think do keep in mind at the moment the game does have a tendency to be a little defender-sided. It doesn't really seem to matter what map it is, as far as I'm concerned. There are some maps that we used to call attacker-side, like your chalets and borders.
Do you want stats, or is that too boring?
You can get stats if you want, but I feel like as a whole, the way that the game has changed since the halfway point through this year has been quite tough to attack.
Well,
it's not impossible, but it's tough.
According to my stats, this is just for the stage, for all of the BR6 leagues, not including the major. We are at every single map being defender-sided, most by a significant margin, with the exception of Chalet, which is 51% attack-sided, and the overall average across the league for every map is 56%.
I'm not surprised by that, to be honest.
It backs up exactly what you're saying.
I wouldn't be too surprised. Yeah. Chalet of all maps as well is probably the more attacker-sided of the entire pool.
If anything, I'm surprised that maps like Border are not more attacker-sided.
Alas, we are on Consulate. And Consulate being one of the newer maps in the pool sort of does fall into that philosophy as well. So for Team Bliss, here we go. They are looking for a pretty extended roam in through the map. It's going to be aided by the Castle of Brendo that we've just been on board with. It's in fact all the way down inside of the basement bomb site for Team Bliss as they make their second attempt at a defense.
There's so many different choices for Wolves to make on this huge behemoth of a map. Do they look to push from the front? Do they look to push from the back? Do they look to full roam clear? Do they look to partial roam clear? Do they want vertical game? At the moment, breach on the main garage wall. Wettables has the ability to impact Trick, as I think he did manage to successfully do it. The second charge yet has remained intact. I think the first goo mine was, sorry, the first impact nade was just off to the wrong spot.
I kind of like that.
Delivered.
I do like that from Team Bliss. You only open up half of the soft wall, so you impact trick off like the other exterior half. That's cool. I don't mind that. I've actually never seen that before. I feel like that's more common than it should be, but I just haven't seen it because we barely ever cast Consulate. Anyway, that's awesome. Here we go. Wolves on their roam clear though. They have made headway in through the ground floor, given that Visa has been completely segmented off by this castle setup, and that does mean they've now been afforded hatch control inside of Visa. There are 2 hatches that lead down into the basement, but here goes Mowgli.
Oh, sharp shot there from Oda with the commando. Guess what? It's an Aussie on the Mozzie. And he's already found the opener. Mowgli's gone down. Bibu looking for an attempted refrag. But this is very solo, and he has no logic bombs left to aid him.
P4 as well, trying to take the duel on another player down inside the basement. It's a really tough spot now for Wolves. They're not quite sure what the safest way to get from the ground floor to the bottom floor is. And Brendo's in a really good spot here as well, inside of Expo, with that hatch being opened up going into the bomb site. It's going to force Wolves to actually want to clear out his position if they want to go in for an execute in through the bomb site.
Oh. This is so awkward for Bibu now. P4 as well, supporting here. Brendo around the corner, but he perfectly times his rotation. Hits the blind spot, finds the first, but a good trade there. Shinka has moved on in, but up above, Seichen maintains map control and dominates with it. Bibu's moved on in, but he's so exposed right now. Deadshot is in a very awkward position. He might find the first. Can he find the second? A shotgun to the face puts his dream to rest. All on Bibu now, who's managed to sneak in. Oh, what a shot!
Geez.
1v2. And Mandy, this is winnable. The diffuser is within his clutches. And these players are so separated. A long angle for Fish Show Guy spells death for Deadshot, and the round for Team Bliss, 2 on the trot.
Oh man, that was so cool from Team Bliss. That was a really multifaceted defense, extending their way all through 3 floors of the maps. They knew that the core, the heart of that defense was Brendo, being inside of Expo on the hatch with all his lines of sight and rotation holes to wreak havoc and run riot around that ground floor in through Zulu, fighting players that are coming in through lobby side, for example. And that was the heart of the defense. And what they needed to do was just make sure that they had sort of an orbit around the heart of defense, right? That was Sage in the top floor, and that was Fisher Guy down in the bottom floor, making sure that no one could then hit the actual bomb site in through the spiral stairs or Visa stairs or whatever you want to call it these days, right? So really well played there from Bliss to hold on to what was the essential part of their defense, and Wolves just not having a very good dissection of the plan.
Yeah, very hard read there for Wolves. And that's the thing, right? If Wolves do not have the ability to hit site hard and there's no obvious way for them to clear the full map, then I think they do struggle a little bit. It's something we've noticed about Wolves, I would say, in these last few games. If there's a slow but sure and very methodical way that's very ambitious, okay, we've got to clear this whole map, we've got to clear this position and that position, Wolves will typically look for an alternative. They don't want to address issues head-on. They look for something a little bit more creative, and Bliss are denying that.
I think it's fair enough when you go into a map like Consulate. It can be quite a challenging map to roam clear, so why not just take the path of least resistance, cut corners in if you can. And that's what they've been trying to do to Bliss, but Bliss have kept them accountable 2 rounds in a row now on the defense as they switch their way up into the top floor. I'm so sorry. I have no idea who's observing this, but I feel terrible for you right now.
This is fine. We'll get past it. Deadshot's likely going to lose his Flores drone, and unfortunately he did not stay on it until it got destroyed, so we'll get there eventually, guys.
I'm a believer.
Well, I can tell you what's happening right now is I have a top-down view on the second monitor. Wolves have started to make some progress. Now, this is a top-floor defense. Hey! Aww. Wolves are attacking on the top-floor defense at the moment, and they're looking to take from the admin side of the map on the east. Now, Deadshot's made his way into the building, and Booby's doing some good drone work. It looks like Bliss have quite a few defenders around the area, but no one hard contesting.
Bliss are trying to hold on to this soda position for a little while, but not too long. They don't really have a massive setup going in through the hallway, and so they just want to be able to fall back in towards the safety of the bomb site instead. Oh, it's us.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
The game is still being played.
The game is being played, so do we just
we want to, like,
going?
How good are you at drawing? Like, can you draw really fast?
I cannot draw very fast, but we can try and do some
All right, we'll get the game back to you in a second, but do you want to keep... Oh, awesome. Okay, I guess you can see the kill feed.
Oh.
Can we go back to the full game? You don't need to see us. You really don't need to see us. You don't want to see us.
Thank
there you go.
See ya. Mowgli's taking down Oda for the first pick of this round. So far, Bliss holding strong inside of that top floor now. For your all information, there is kind of no one in the building right now for Wolves. The only player that has actually stepped foot in the building is Mowgli himself, who is all the way down inside of the ground floor. He's still got 2 nades in his hand, so if they can get him to a safe spot, he can try and send some up through the floor. But finally, there is a bit more headway into the building. Deadshot is also now inside of Printer, but Bliss are still holding on to Soda for a little bit, although there's not a lot of utility inside of Soda. So Sage is going to be here for a little bit, but it's got to fall off pretty early.
Remember this, kids? Once upon a time, you would be watching your sport by listening on the radio. So just channel your inner retro and really enjoy this vibe.
You do a radio voice for the final 30 seconds of the round as Wolves are forced to go in
These
for
guys
their
deserve
execute.
more than that. These guys deserve a hype cast for the final 30 seconds at the moment.
Execute.
Wolves still very slow on this attack. They've rotated Shinka with the diffuser over to the yellow stairs. P4 makes the first move into the bomb site, but he's taken down. A good trade as 2 kills are found by Wolves. It's now a 2 versus 2 with Bliss still holding an advantage. Shinka yet unable to force down this diffuser into the site as Bibu looks to support him from Library. Brendo's found the kill on the Shinka. Bibu's got no clue what to do. He has to make himself a rotate and desperately walk into no man's land as Bliss will handily win the round on time.
And we've got a tactical timeout from Wolves, which I think is fair enough. For y'all that weren't watching the game, which is all of y'all at home, there wasn't a lot to watch. I think is a very fair comment.
To be fair,
make.
if you did have the feed, you wouldn't have missed much.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you guys were watching what Wolves were doing, there wasn't a lot to watch of what Wolves were doing because there wasn't a lot going on.
Well,
there was a lot of sitting on the roof and wandering and not a lot of doing.
Well, they got control of admin. They droned it several times. I think they only sent 1 player in there. They droned yellow stairs, but they didn't really hard commit. They didn't have anyone repelling CO. They didn't have any pressure from the meeting balcony or breach on that wall. It was very slow. And what's funny to me is that it's kind of what we saw yesterday with the Wolves and Bliss game. Wolves on their defense were very aggressive, probably too aggressive. Bliss read into it, and Bliss could just sit patiently and find kills. Wolves were almost expecting Bliss to play aggressively because Wolves were playing so slow. If Bliss had fed them some picks, Wolves would have run the round. But Bliss can sit safely knowing that time continues to tick down and Wolves aren't making any headway.
That's exactly right. And Laloon there having a few words there to Wolves. I don't think I can say a name properly either. We're actually terrible as Australians. I feel like all of our pronunciations for everything.
Even the word pronunciation is hard to...
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation? Pronunciation. I think we'll go with pronunciation.
I'm going to forget. Anyway, Wolves, I think, just need to be a bit more proactive in the server. I feel like that's the main point that we need to say to them, right? Every round, they've taken a little bit too long to then go in and actually decide, what is going on, right? Anyway, Bliss are going to go back over to the ground floor bomb site of Piano and Expo. I really don't know if it's Piano and Expo. We're going to run with it anyway. And it doesn't look like they're changing up their strategy all too much. I think the big point of difference is Wettables jumping here onto the Pulse instead. Actually, everyone's kind of switched up, operated a little bit, right? So they must be running something different, but it does seem like it's more focused in on this basement, and they're going to send in some of those C4s in from bottom up. There are actually 2 C4s in the line of the defense as it stands, whilst also extending over horizontally.
Now, while we are 3-0, remember that this is a very defender-sided map, as we should expect this to be a defender-sided game. However, this is Wolves' map pick. They would certainly be gunning for 3-3 at the end of this first half. Bliss have also proven to be very good on attack in both their map against Space Station and the map against Wolves. The Fisher guy trapped here at the bottom of yellow stairs. Gridlock, with her newfound popularity, locking him in place, but he will start to take down those track stingers and make his way up the stairs.
Mowgli's going to have a try at the entry as well, combined with the pace of P4 on the Amaru. They're really going to go in for this mini execute in on the top floor, but is there any resistance there to meet them? I don't think so. There are no Bliss players here.
No, nobody's there indeed. It was a nice idea to try and mini execute onto this top floor. Clearly, Wolves did not have full information on those players on the top floor. But I think Bliss are pretty chill with that. They're actually rather holding the basement. Wettables is getting all kinds of information. Oh, he's so lucky if this will work. Through 2 different floors, not a single bullet will land. Of course, Mowgli is on solid ground.
Interesting from Wolves. I wonder what they're going to do from here. Really, the only vertical pressure they have is Deadshot with the 3 breach charges if he chooses to use so. But like you pointed out, the main point of Bliss's resistance is in the basement. That is where their info is coming from. And with Wettables being on that pulse scanner constantly, he is going to call to Team Bliss what the execute might amount for Wolves as they start to make their way down the yellow stairs. But Fisher Guy's on the other side with the shotgun.
Yeah, but there's a shotgun on the attack as well with Bibu and that super shorty.
Wettables needs to help.
Wedables does, but he's giving information at the moment. He can call out whether the player down below is looking to push. Fisher guy feels a bit of pressure from that grenade, but he still holds on to his position. No gas, no util of any kind to try and support him, but Brendo finds the first pick, and now Mowgli must deal with this player on the stairs. Fisher guy still remains in position.
They're giving up. They're not doing this anymore. They're like, okay, there are 2 players here. We don't want this anymore. Take the point of least resistance. And okay, apparently it works anyway. Mowgli to take down Sage in on the ground floor. And here comes the execute. Shinka to actually be taken down by Odo as he tries to put the diffuser in the bomb site.
Ibu's got to hold the stairs, but Fisher says, look at your shotgun, look at mine, which is better? He force found one with that Amaru's SMG-11 on this top floor. He's got a shotgun of his own, and he's hunting for something more. But Fisher guy, 5 kills in the game, gets the better of him. Mowgli, 1v3. No information, a lot of damage from that C4. No chance of planting here. Diffuser may be in pocket, but time certainly is not. And Wedables is safely down below with plenty of information to call. What a shot there. But he must do it now with the pistol. Fisher guy a third on the round. Bliss up 4-0 in the map.
Oh man, he's so chill about it too. Oh, we just got a smile. We got a Fisher guy rare smile right at the end there. He was like, oh yeah, I'm cool. I'm collected.
That's rarer
and then
than
we
gold.
jumped over to Mingra and given him a fist pump, and he was like, heh. And did a little Fisher guy smile. That was sick. That was such a good round there from Bliss. They remained composed in the clear that Wolves were doing. I mean, they didn't need to do too much in terms of being super proactive in the server. I think the main point that we were on board with was, of course, a 2 versus 2 situational moment of Fisher guy and Wedables like dueling P4 and Mowgli on the other side. But really, that was about it in terms of proactiveness for Team Bliss. Wolves just took a really long time to get things done, and even when they decided to go and try and get things done, they were like, nah, you know, we're not dealing with this. We just want to jump on in. And it just feels like Wolves have a aversion to problem solving. They just really don't want to commit to an idea.
They just yeah, it's right. It's a lack of commitment. I mean, it sounds like we're troubleshooting relationship problems at the moment for Wolves, but they do have relationship problems with these executes. They have great ideas, but sometimes you just have to commit to something because they spend a lot of time telegraphing and then they rotate off. And Bliss is knowing that Wolves are rotating off, and Bliss always, even with their resources spread thin, are capable of preventing these quick direct pushes on the bomb site.
Similar defense as well for Team Bliss as they go back down into the basement bomb site. Just segmenting off once again that Visa side of the map and making sure that Brendo is in his stronghold inside of Expo. Meanwhile, though, for Wolves, it does look like they are looking for that top-down clear. P4 is going to be the first point of entry inside of admin, just sending him a couple drones now to try and get his entry of Deadshot in. A C4 to bring out from Oda on the other side. Doesn't quite connect. P4 ready for that one. Meanwhile, Bibu on the top of yellow stairs is looking to try and claw his way in and take down the players in the top floor.
This top floor control has seemingly been easy to gain for Wolves. They don't have full information at the moment. I love the ram pick, though. Could really deal some damage, but of course, there's a lot of floors to take control of, Manny, before they can make good on this utility. And previously, this garage cafeteria was a real fortress for Bliss. It looks like that Soul Roamer has also fallen off safely as well.
Yeah, both of them fallen off actually back into the ground floor. Now, of course, the heart of this defense is Brendo inside of the ground floor, but with vertical control now given to the attack, P4 can start to get the Mars rovers on the floor, sampling up the floor, seeing what's going on down below, and that's where Brendo's going to be in danger, but Sage to collect the first one onto Mowgli is a good start for Team Bliss.
Very much is. Sage only takes a little bit of damage for it as well. I'm not sure where that went down. Last I saw, Sage was down near lobby, rotating back from piano. I believe he's still roaming in that ground floor as well. Man, half the round gone, Mandy, and Wolves still don't even have ground floor control. This is a basement defense, for goodness sake.
They really want to try and work this vertical to see what they can find, but there's another defender finally falling off back into the bomb site, thinking that they have wasted enough time, and it's leaving Brendo all alone on the ground floor. Finally, they can get the pinch out onto him. Deadshot to take him down, and now vertical control is in the hands of Wolves. They can hopefully now start to use P4's rovers. They didn't actually need it for the roam clear to start to pick apart the bomb site, but the rest of Team Bliss have actually vacated all the areas that are vulnerable to the vertical. They're playing adjacent to the bomb site instead.
The question is 45 seconds long enough to breach this main wall, to get vertical pressure, and to start executing onto the site?
They could do it. They could definitely do it. Shinka with his 2 smokes could certainly make an execute play work. Oh, but there's a bit of a tussle going down inside of Spiral as well.
Deadshot's just on flank watch duty. Fisho does not need to move. Look at that clock. ever it ticks away. Wolves in the disadvantage. Shinka goes down. Sage has found his second in the rounds. Bibu desperate now from the yellow stairs. Gets a bit of damage onto Wettables, but he's not able to get the killing blow. And desperate now, he is spraying on through. Fisher goes on for a huge flank as well. Wettables finds one. Deadshot cannot land the killing blow. P4 desperate now, dropping the hatch. He falls, he dies. 5 rounds in a row for Team Bliss.
And they are on an absolute roll here on Consulate, on their defending side. Like you said, 5 rounds straight. Wolves not even looking competitive in the server at the moment. They're doing nothing with conviction. It almost looked like a really solid roam clear from those guys. They cleared top to bottom, but they couldn't make the execute happen after that. Even though Shinka was in a prime spot to maybe make something work, the rest of his team wasn't able to help him where they were. And as they funneled their way on into the bomb site, they were caught in the shadow realm. They couldn't see anything, and they got gunned down.
Yesterday, Wolves on Chalet looked dominant against Bliss. Time and time again, they came up with these miraculous executes that Bliss had no answer for. It took an insane 5-round comeback from the Aussies in the second half and overtime to clinch that game. Here, we are seeing an even more dominant performance than we have seen from either of these teams thus far, and it is from Bliss. 5 rounds of defense straight. I don't care if you think Consulate is defender favored. Nothing should explain 5 rounds as dominant as we have seen. Wolves have 0 response. One final chance. Otherwise, it's Bliss match point.
Doesn't look like they're quite in the server just yet as were Bliss. They're going to go back up to this top floor. It does look like this time they are extending out over into admin. Now, last time this round happened, Yellowhome didn't see too much of it, but this time around they have actually changed out their strategy. They are extending their way over into Soda Hallway, even into Break, doing the triple Rio there, leaning into the Izami of Brendo to make that a power position. But look at this from Wolves. They've identified all that resistance over in the admin side, and they're going to try something over on Yellow instead.
Which is what they ended up doing at the end of the previous round after spending so much time pushing admin. The X-Factor ingredient here for me is P4. He's already got the Guru hook out.
I know.
Is there a play? Is there information? Is Fisher guy just around the corner waiting for it? P4 still holding that. He's now shot off the glass. In goes Mowgli. On the back of the nade, it might not have been heard. P4's in. Oh, he gets the killing blow, but only barely. Wettables finds Bibu. Deadshot also jumps into the fun. 3 players left for Bliss, but they make it even once again. Mowgli trapped here and killed by the rookie from Wettables. He's only been on this team for a goddamn month and he's farming the French here at a major. Brendo to find the final 2. 6 rounds straight for the Aussies on Wolves' map pick. You never see anything like this. They found themselves on map points.
What just happened in that round as well? What on earth happened, Dev? You blink and you miss it, and Wettables has got 3 kills in the server. What on earth is going down at the moment for Wolves? They tried to land what was a super early near rush to execute, all 5 of them jumping into the building, and somehow Bliss knew exactly what was going on. Within seconds of nothing happening, they thought, oh no, it's like bad times are headed in the way of the bomb site. We got to come back. And Brendo and Sage and everyone that was extended over on the other side, they started creeping their way on back in, and Wettables was like, it's all right, guys, I got this. And he gunned them all down as they tried to repel him through the windows. What a crazy round.
That's the thing. Bliss have read into Wolves to perfection. They know Wolves are always going to try something crazy, something aggressive, something sparky onto the bomb site. And all it takes to counter that is sitting back, cool, calm, and collected. One wet table. That's all it takes. Just one.
Oh man, here goes Wolves though on their defending side of the basement. We'll see if they have the same success that Bliss did. Different strategy and philosophy as well from Wolves. They're not opening up the expo hatch, instead they have it closed, but they are still dedicating themselves to this 3-floored roam. Deadshot even dedicating a couple of those mute jammers in through the top floor to try and stunt the drone work of Bliss. And the drone work through Consulate is the hard part, right? Even though you might be able to make your entry into the building, then getting the info on all the little rooms and stuff and wherever they can be is the hard part.
Bliss are tested in a new way here on their attacking side, but Wolves have got to be shattered after such a tumultuous first half. Never a moment where it looked like they were going to win a round. Convincing victory after convincing win from Bliss. Now, slow and steady wins the race, it seems. How do they go on their roam clear? This is a basement defense. Mowgli on the roam.
Double soft breach for Team Bliss. Both the Buck and the Sledge is in play for Waterballs and Sage, and they were going to want to make full use of it, not just to actually tear up the floor in the bomb site, but also to aid their roam clear as well. Brendo's going to kick things off here in the top floor and is going to get on the Clutch drone to try and set things up for the execute. Meanwhile, this is where Sage and Waterballs can start to get to work and to pick away the defense that is on the ground floor.
And that defense is primarily Mowgli, a solo roamer. Oda, what a great angle he is here. Mowgli's still in a position to deal some damage. He's supported as well by P4. Both of these players have had their fair share of decent games in the past. Mowgli a little bit quiet in this tournament thus far. Deadshot also up, Mr. Consistent himself. The Swede, and he finds one. This Swiss player is tearing up heads. He's taken down Wet.
A solid shot there from Deadshot. Oh, but he's going to be seen by the vertical. He's being chased. And Mowgli's actually going to collect another one to Brendo. So does P4, doubling down a pretty heavy man deficit for Bliss Wolves, really coming out on top in this roam game.
You blink and you miss it. It was a great setup from Bliss on the top floor, but these three roamers have put them under the pump. Now pushing up, it's Oda, SMG-12 in hand, as one of his opponents looks to force himself down the stairs. The goo mine in foot will make things difficult. Sage, and oh no, he's got to be careful because P4's right around that corner. He finds the double. Wolves are not done yet. No 7-0 embarrassment. The first step of many that will be required to make this comeback reality.
Solid roam as well from Wolves. They played so close together, really aptly ready for those trades as the push came on through for Team Bliss. I liked the idea, go in for the vertical, try to flush them out in the horizontal, but some really nice shooting from Wolves. P4 in particular taking down players as they came to him through the ground floor. Even though they felt the pressure in through the vertical, it didn't amount to anything because they were able to take those one-to-ones that they needed onto the Bliss players and close it out.
Defenders, protect your bomb.
Is this defensive favorite game, Andy?
Maybe. I mean, like, Rainbow Six is the tale of two halves.
It is.
That's what we say these days. And you have no idea. I swear, the amount of 5-1 or like 1-5 comebacks that we've seen this stage alone is like, oh damn.
But have we seen any this tournament? I don't think we have.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
This is a different level.
We've seen a 6-0, right? Because we almost had a 7-0 that I think ended up a 7-1, if I recall correctly. Maybe it was one of the Knights games, perhaps. I think they struggled a little bit. I don't know. Former Knights player, Sagen, from another region entirely, back in the day when Knights were in the Ost region. Unfortunately, they were not able to make it to the second phase of this major, but Bliss and Wolves are now battling it out to see if they can do so themselves. And Bliss are making a very convincing case at the moment on Wolves' own map pick. But the first shining light amongst the darkness for the French has been found in that first round of defense. Let's see if they can do it again.
And Wolves are going to send us up to the top floor bomb site, having successfully defended the basement and looking to extend their way over into break room. They're going to be contesting that admin side push, which is what Bliss seems to be looking for at the moment. Getting an early breach onto meeting does allow them an entry in and will set themselves up for later, but that's not going to be the first point of defense here for Bliss. Sorry, the first point of attack. They're attacking now, gosh. Anyway, I've still got a lot to deal with.
Indeed. Oh, I like this. Fisher go around the 0. That's a really well-placed Samcam as well. A lot of information to gather. Drones in to support. No Solus makes that a whole lot more difficult to counter. Great work from Wettables, just slowly but surely clearing away this utility. Barbed wire gone. Checking out what's going on now inside of bathroom. Another Azami Kiba barrier dispatched with as well.
Here goes Oda. One of the first moves in the building on the Ace himself, and he's going to be able to open up some of these walls inside a break room and allow a point of entry in. The main point of resistance that Bliss are going to meet here if they want to dedicate themselves to the crossover is that Soda hallway. Not only is there a shield there with all the ADSs, but there's even the Azami being actively played by Mowgli. He's got one more of those Keeper barriers in his pocket, and he can use that spontaneously to lock out Team Bliss.
What a shot from Mowgli as well. That's what we need to see a lot more of for Wolves to get in the game. Oda never had a shot there, never had a chance. Mowgli still survives. That Soda setup still very pertinent. Wettables is completely out of Rotero drones.
This is an interesting pivot. Booster guy with the diffuser in hand is going to put some claymores over on the CEO side of the map instead. I'm anticipating that Bliss here have seen the resistance that's going down inside of Soda, and they're like, okay, let's try and do yellow instead. That's Brendo hopping into the building, making his way down yellow, checking for any flankers. There is Deadshot on the other side he has to worry about.
Sage can jump in as well and try and make something work from meeting. A nade could enable that. The sound cover perhaps, or just clearing one of those key positions. He's waiting for a peek. He actually has a very long line of sight to work with as well, deep into split. Wedables is rotated over. This is well and truly telegraphed for Bliss. Wolves know what's up.
They certainly do, as Wedables is going to send in a flashbang, but is it enough to dislodge the player on the other side of Fisher Guy, who is the danger man?
Sage finds the open, and Mowgli finally goes down P4. He's the man of the hour! He found the last 2 kills to close the previous round, and now he's found the pivotal one. Diffuser cold on the ground. As of the 5 bodies of Team Bliss, Wolves got their second on defense.
Yeah, it seems like this is going to be a defender-sided game, Dev. I think Team Bliss are facing the exact same adversities that Wolves were facing when they were on the attack as well, spending a lot of time loitering outside of the building, not really getting all too much done aside from opening up the main breach into meeting and going for some of that pressure there. They didn't quite dedicate themselves to the admin take. Now, all credit to them, I can understand that. That is a point of a lot of resistance. There's a lot of stuff going on in the hallway, and inside of the hallway itself, it can be a really tough spot to then like send in utility, right? Because it's kind of like perpendicular to where you would throw it inside of break room. So they're thinking, okay, no, we don't want to do that. Let's go to yellow. But by the time that they made that call, they'd completely telegraphed that push. Wolves completely flipped their defense around to facing exactly where they were coming in from, and P4 to take down the planter really sealed the deal.
Let's have a look at this Bliss timeout. Funnily enough, it's not their coach Mingoran doing most of the talking. It seems to be the players themselves. Interesting. We often talk about seeding order. Now, Fisho is clearly the IGL, but he's second from the left. Wedables, the rookie, and the second most vocal player on the team. He's in the middle. You've got the 2 brothers on the far side, Brendo and Sage. Do you have any insight or thoughts on their seeding order? Wedables in the middle. Jigsaw wasn't in the middle, was he?
No, he wasn't, but I think they play very different roles, right? Jigsaw out, Wedables in means that you lose your entry fragger. That being said, very talkative entry fragger, but you replace him in with a talkative support player instead. And Wedables, even though he's not the primary IGL of the team, he's the ideas man as well, right? He's the one that's like, okay, we can go for something that isn't a plan A, right? That's Wedables, and that's what he can do. He's just a good teammate, right, in general. And so having Fisher Guy and Wedables sitting next to each other and having that line of communication means that it alleviates some of the calling that Fisher Guy does, because Wedables knows what's going on his screen as well, right? So I think that, yeah, bringing in Wedables on your support, yes, it's a very big change from Jigsaw, but it does give them a lot more options in the decision tree, especially on their attacks.
Very interesting roster change. One of the more interesting roster changes for me personally that we've seen in Stage 2 is Wedables in and Jigsaw out. It's clearly an upgrade, despite what anyone would have thought. Bliss are doing better than ever, and these roles seem perfect for them.
All right. Can Bliss land the one attack they need, though? That is the question. They have been on match point 2 in a row now. Can they actually claim this one for themselves? It does seem like they are going to make their sweep in work from the admin side of the map. Oops. Fisher Guy just missing out on that mute jammer slightly. Does mean that wall will stay closed for a little bit longer. It does seem like once again they are looking for that sweep in through the admin side of the map, but Bibu is there to meet their resistance on the Fenrir.
Mowgli's keen for this roam. The last few rounds, the roam game has been effective for Wolves. It's a good setup here. Of course, the bomb side itself is actually lobby press, or whatever you want to call it, whatever we were calling it,
Expo and piano.
This is quite a different bomb site to the previous ones. Fisho's got this opportunity once again. He wants to take out that mute jammer. He gets it this time. And that means Wedables can breach the wall.
Ooh, and a mirror window on the other side as well. Okay, that's mute jammed as well, so Deadshot's going to keep his safety for a little bit longer. But Bliss are starting to make this sweep across the map work for them ever so slowly. Yes, the minute and 30 seconds is starting to tick down, and that's where the danger comes in. They still need to get both their vertical players with full control inside of meeting and perhaps inside of CEO if they can, to actually be able to wreak havoc on the bomb site. And that's why Fisher Guy has decided to rotate over to the CEO rappel. He knows that that pressure needs to start coming out on the players in CEO to enable his teammates to sweep their way on in.
How do you flush out this position though? Bliss, very slow at the moment. Brendo must be the tip of the spear and he must have an impact. Sajon looking to make something work from the yellow stairs. Oh, that's a lot of damage on the P4. Brendo now must move in and finish what his brother started. Both the brothers come to life. 5v3 now for Bliss, but Wolves are not done yet. They continue to fight. Wedables survives a C4 just barely, but meanwhile the diffuser must be picked up. 40 seconds remain for Bliss to close the map in a 4 versus 1.
Only 30 seconds left, like you pointed out, but it's Mowgli, the danger man for Wolves. He's going to hide, lying in wait as the time starts to tick down. Can Bliss convert this? Surely they can on match point to send us, hopefully, into this map too.
Desperate now for Mowgli, Wolves' own map pick, but Bliss do not rush this. They do not overcommit. A first pick for Mowgli, the refrag committed to. Is he going to land it? A third kill, but not enough. Sagen closes the game, and Bliss dare to dream, dare to imagine themselves taking down the Wolves a second time. Map 1 is in the books. Wolves picked it, but Bliss took it away from them. And next up, we go to Laps.
Wolves had absolutely no idea what they were facing when they picked Consulate. They thought that they were pulling a rabbit out of the hat, something that we have not seen before, only once before in EUL, but Bliss can show up on their own map pick, on their own one, and it's just such a beautiful sight to watch for these guys.
It is. Everything that Bliss have been working on in the backgrounds all of this time. This roster change. Waitable is looking more comfortable than many players I have seen make their major debut. Let's remember, all 5 of these guys, when Jigsaw was on the roster, 4 out of 5. The only one that was not a debutant at Copenhagen was Fisher Guy. All 5 of them, they looked absolutely rattled in Copenhagen. That was not their game, not their time. They got 7-1 by W7M. This time around, it's a completely different game. They've just beaten the Wolves 7-2, and now for the second time, they have a chance to make it into the Swiss system. But map 2 is coming up very shortly, so stick around.
Yes, G2 have had a win. They have also had a loss.
Of course, I think G2 is the best team in the world. And now it's up to us to defend that, to prove everyone that we're right.
When I'm in a tournament, I don't care about the nationality of the enemies. I play every game like it's the same game.
Good luck, guys.
There's a lot of up and downs, but with this new MAD roster, I believe we can create something.
Life is just it's a constant growth. It's mostly just kind of knowing yourself and not being afraid to just pick on yourself and get better.
There's nothing better than seeing your top players pop off and your top players perform. That's where the magic really happens.
I think that M8 is one of those teams that we will really struggle against because they understand things the same way we do and they have equally as talented players.
We don't really have a rival. The only rival is ourselves, so as long as we get over that, there's no one in our way.
Hello, I'm Dominic Clement, game designer on Rainbow Six Siege. The next season is right around the corner. And if you don't get the latest operator on release, you might still want to review your ABCs on some of the operators already available today in the game. The Electric Bandit, the Wise Kaid, and the Quiet Mute will be welcoming a new troublemaker into their ranks, ready to give breachers a few headaches. Working out your pulse and Solus muscles will ensure you'll be able to provide invaluable intel to this new operator. And let's not forget about Ella, Fenrir, and our other trap operators who each bring a unique ingredient that can be used in crafting some really crazy strategies with this new operator. So jump into the game and review your basics with these operators, so you'll be ready to synergize with the new operator when it comes out next season. See you then.
Sun down a second time he goes. Dark in a great spot here to stop this plant going down. They need to remove him first.
Yep, like Hollis and Dark both on very low health though. Is Dark going to get him on the swing? Absolutely not. Pamba able to go in, get aggressive. He could find another here in like always potentially, but no. BG Man's got his bands back. He's got him on the cover. He manages to pick up Pamba. 17 seconds left to go. Like Hollis cut down with the few hit points that he had. It's all up to BG Man. He's taking the peak. He knows where they're coming from. Out goes the impact. It's not going to do the job. He swings, he fires, he misses. He still keeps searching, seeking. He knows where the cover is. He gets one. Surely he wins this. No. He's the head and misses. Can he find his man? No! NJR gets the plant, gets the kill, gets the round. Dark Zero fight back. It's 2-3.
Massive out of NJR there. It really looked for a second like that should have been done and dusted, but no. Massive pull off the back of the diffuser to close things down. Keeps them in the conversation. 3-2 going to be that scoreline now, rather than a 4-1, which would have felt terrifying as a prospect to fight back against as Dark Zero. But here, like I said, still in the conversation.
Boy, oh boy, big round for Dark Zero there. Fury, again, still not making it easy, no matter what they seem to do. Pamba gets himself up into piano, but BG Man there is covering and gets the kill. BG Man, big round for him, and I think maybe even a little bit of frustration. He saw the head of Ibana, he saw NJR, it was one shot, but he just missed it. So difficult sometimes, you know, in those tight situations. You've got a zoomed in scope, you're trying to move around, you just move a little bit too quickly, or maybe not enough. We'll see it. Just NJR, see the traces going across the top, gets away with it, but that's how it goes at this level of siege. Going to be Dark Zero take the round, and what a matchup we've got. But I like to see this from Fury. They lose the round, but it's still smiles, still laughing. You know, and that makes them a difficult team to beat, because you're not going to get in their head mentally. You sort of see that maybe they've got the opinion of like, look, we've got Dark Zero in an elimination match here. We win this, we go through to phase 2. You know, there's no pressure on them.
That's it. When there's no expectations on you, there is no pressure. Whereas I think for Dark Zero, there's an element of, look, we're Dark Zero, one of the hallmark NA teams, like we should be really getting through to the main stage here and breezing past Fury, and Fury making it hard for them. That pressure will start to mount up. The longer this game goes on, the longer that Fury stay relevant. However, last round of the half here for Fury on the defense. Dark Zero's last chance to crack this head wide open and get a 3-3 split, which would be very welcomed. I'm actually curious, I never really thought about it too much, but they're in a good spot there where they can't obviously zap it from the outside or destroy it from the outside, but as soon as they try and plant on bins, that canister is so easy to just destroy and deny the bins plant outright.
Yep, it's very nice placement, and it's something that they're definitely going to have to deal with. We saw this last time, Rash just deploying the track stingers at the top of West Main stairs. That's going to prevent that flank coming down, at least for free anyway. There will minimum be an audio queue of somebody shooting that out to try and move down. Rice is going to relocate round to the front, potentially looking to use the nades to clear that Goyo canister maybe. He's just going to strafe across, needs to be careful he doesn't overexpose himself, and I think, yep, that's exactly what he's going to be doing.
Nade in hand should get rid of that Goyo canister. They're dying to try and get it out. It's still there. I was going to say really the only option here is to use nades. I have to go through 2 nades just to clear it out. There you go. But it does probably also illustrate a little bit to the side here on what the intent is going to be.
Exactly that.
You know a bin plant is coming in, that they've got a bit of gadgetry to play behind here, many looking in towards 2 more nades. The flash is on hand too. So that's where Fury need to be respectful. They've got C4s in back pocket, 2 of them. They've got impacts to play behind. Still a lot to deny if Dark Zero do go for what looks to be a pretty telegraphed execute.
This is not great for Fury though. Pamba's been able to push up into electrical corridor here, so he's got a really good cross.
It is time for map number 2 in this series. It could be the final map that Bliss and Wolves play in the play-ins. For one of these teams, it may be the final map of the entire tournament. Wolves, after making every single international event this year and last, this could be their earliest exit ever since they got picked up from an international event. Wolves are on their dying breath. This is their last legs. They got 7-2'd on Consulate, their own map pick. Now they move to Labs.
And a historically untested map as well for Wolves. They've only played, no, they haven't played it at all, have they? In all of Stage 2, I believe that Wolves have not shown Labs. It's Bliss.
All of Stage 2 and ever, because it's only just been played.
And forever and ever.
Forever and ever. Wolves
This is the
have
first
never
time
played this map before.
I'm excited. I'm hyped for this one. But Team Bliss have shown us labs. Now, their labs game that went to overtime, they almost lost it, but they didn't. It was alright. They won it in their own league of oaths, but this time we're going to have to see them go up against a completely different beast of the Wolfpack.
Bliss had never played Consulate in an official match before when they just 7-2'd Wolves on it. Now, Wolves will have to return the favor here on a map that they themselves have never played in an official match. Does that mean that they've been hiding it, that they've been working on it in the background? Well, if you're a French fan, you better damn well hope so. But Bliss are going to throw a curveball right into the mix on the back of a Maverick and Thatcher ban, which would typically enable Bandit Trick. They banned the Bandit.
Oh, man.
You know where it went? They banned it.
They See, that's not too bad from you. That's a good little trivia, I don't mind that. Yeah, interesting. I don't know what to make of this just yet, Dev. I guess Kaid's in?
Yeah, I mean, it's very strange, right? Like, Kaid is in and mini EMPs are in.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
That's the mini game.
I get that. Okay, I'm going to go off that. I reckon that's a good point to make, right? Because the Kaid is in, but you have mini EMPs. But landing those mini EMPs onto the Kaid can be quite tricky, right? The radius of the EMPs, the little ones, means that they're not super consistent for taking down your Kaid, right? So I don't mind this from Bliss. As soon as they take out Thatcher, yes, they take out Bandit to make sure that they don't have to play the mini game against the Bandit Trick, but instead are going to rely on their drone work to try and disable some of those Kaid claws. It does mean it's a bit more of a finicky mini game to be playing, if you would so say, because it does rely on intel, but it's one that they're going to rely on instead, and that's probably why we're seeing stuff like the IQ and stuff like the Brava come through. I think it makes a lot of sense.
100%. I was actually going to say, I think that the operator you want to pick with these bands, with Thatcher and Maverick Band and Bandit Band as well, leaving the Kaid very powerful, you want to pick that IQ, you want to pick the secondary EMPs. Now, there are secondary EMPs on Fisher Guy, and that is how Bliss will be opening any of these walls.
Interesting, and leaning into the Monty as well does make me think that Bliss are going to turn their attention towards the bomb site at some point and try and make that their main point of focus pretty early on, but it seems like so far, for the Wolves, they've really extended the way out through the map, even dedicating Ryu's into the top floor. But yeah, like we've been pointing out early on, immediately going in to open up that wall. Kaid Trick not successful for Bibu.
Oh, wow.
And the Monty's going to walk his way on through, but Bibu will take him down.
That was a big blunderfish. You had to look the other way, but it looks like Sage has made good on it. He's made the trade back. Bibu's gone down, and Bliss can now recompose. It was a teased out rush for a moment there, and now the diffuser's actually on the ground in the bomb site.
This is a tough spot for Bliss. They need to worry about the vertical as well, and the goo mines are starting to cluster up in towards the assembly entry as well for them. So instead they're going to shift their focus going up into the ground floor. Good choice, I think, for Team Bliss, knowing that the condition of making this execute work is taking down this player on the vertical. That's Deadshot on the other side on the mid, and Wettables and Oda are going to double down in this position, jumping into storage.
Solus has stayed in, but it's not being picked here. I wonder how many pre-placed drones Bliss have active. P4's in a good position here. Looks like Deadshot's actually fallen off this aggressive position inside of storage and started to move on back. Yeah, indeed he has. So he's gone down to the bottom of the blue stairs, which does leave a lot of map control available for Bliss if they are looking to take vertical dominance.
So how do Bliss respond? Now that that position's been vacated, do they then go and commit themselves to actually continuing to clear, or are they just going to hit the bomb site? It seems like a clear is going to be on the cards of Bliss, as Oda is going to be able to flashbang himself in.
But does he know P4's right around the corner? P4 not going to make a sound. Listen as he waits. Will Oda check the angle? A flashbang remaining. He's playing so cautiously, but will he check the pivotal angle? He seems clueless. He's not going to check it, and round in the corner, P4 gets the better of him. Deadshot's found a kill meanwhile, and Bliss are not off to a cracking start here. Wettables goo mine in his ankle. He must pull it out as Deadshot just around the corner. Here's the pull, and likely knows where Wettables is.
Really tough spot now for Team Bliss in the pretty severe man deficit. They don't have a lot of time either, only 40 seconds left, and Wettables is still going to try and make some of this vertical work into tank down below. There are still two roamers alive, though, inside of the ground floor, and so there will be a little bit of danger as Wettables opens up a rotate.
He's not going to open it as of yet, but oh, Deadshot, perfect timing. Does find Wettables' head. All up to Sage now. He's found the only kill so far in the map, and he's going to have to ace up. Oh, hello. What's going on there? Mowgli! Catch that Pokemon. A fantastic start here for the French, but no smiles as of yet. They know What a dangerous path they walk after losing their map pick. This is only the first of many rounds that will be required to make the comeback a reality.
Nice defense though from Wolves. Pretty collected, I would say, composed. They knew that even though the breach had been opened, that they took down the big player, right? That was Bibu taking down the Monty, and that really stalled out the push that Bliss were trying to go for. They really wanted that Monty inside of Assembly to collect all the info, activate the Fenrir gadgets that would have been active so that they could go and take them down, right? And I think that by taking down Monty really early on into the round, Bliss had to do some problem solving through the mid round that they just couldn't quite achieve. They went for that roam clear, but without enough info, they just got taken down one-to-one gunfights that, honestly, I can barely imagine that they were probably looking at their opponents, right? So really well played there from Wolves to retain their composure, knowing they still had the win condition of the round through the vertical and played it really well.
And now Wolves go to the top floor. Mira, Valkyrie, Fenrir. That's a dangerous combination. Good information gathering, good power positions, and it's going to be so challenging to enter into the site. Now, what is the play for Bliss when it comes to opening up this main IT external wall? It looks like two Electroclaws may be committed to the same wall. You could put them on opposite corners, and it'll be very difficult to clear with any secondary EMPs brought to the cards. Now, we do have two on Sagen with the Dokkaebi.
I mean, in theory, it's going to be pretty tough to win this minigame, I think, with Bibu dedicating both of his Electroclaws to the wall. But it seems like they're going to go for it anyway. Fisher Guy feeling confident enough to do it. He's actually taken one of them off the wall. Has Bibu over on the other side. And Fisher Guy thinks the better of it. He thinks, okay, because only half the wall's electrified, obviously two here. And he's going to go over to Connector instead and try and get that open first.
Yeah, that's a really good read, Mandy. That's a really specific and clever read from Fish. So now he knows that the external construction wall can be open for free. The dangerous part is he only has one hard breach remaining. Now, remember, Wettables is also available for extra hard breach. But how are these EMPs going to go? Okay, the second one's gone on, but I believe this should detonate successfully. Oh, whoa. No, the trick was good for Bibu. That's massive. That's both EMPs down for Sage as well.
Yeah, really good try there for Bliss, but Bibu coming out on top with the timing on that one, and that's going to close up some of their options. How do Bliss respond from here on out? The only real way they can get on in from here is through Connector, but they are going to be met by the mirror window. That's where Wettables is going to come in with his hard breach to take it down.
Is he C4ing over the top? Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage. Not the kill. Meanwhile, Sage has found P4, a dangerous player who can now sit on his cameras and give call-outs to the rest of the team. Sage was on a bit of a lurk, but he decides better of it and comes back out again. Now, Bliss, with that construction avenue, have made great headway, but the IT breach, the lack thereof, will hurt them dearly.
Well, they really want to dislodge Deadshot here. If they can take him out, it means that Oda has the opportunity to send some of those up grenades from below, and they're actually going to dedicate all three players going for this, and Brono can take them down. Now, man advantage for Bliss with a minute left to go. All they need to do now is dial it back, get some info into the bomb site, have a good planning phase for the execute.
If you were watching the Bliss SSG game earlier today, you will remember how many matches, how many rounds in that match were 3v5, were 1v1. Bliss cannot be complacent here because Mowgli is keen for a double, and he's brought it back into the realm of possibility. No, the realm of achievability. Wolves 3v3 as Mowgli falls on back again.
Not enough time as well. Only 26 seconds left for Team Bliss, and with two players being dislodged by Mowgli, they're going to have to funnel their way on into the belly of the beast and into the Shadow Realm because those Fenrir gadgets are going to be active.
And Wettables jumps straight on in. Oh, perfect timing on the air jab, but it doesn't matter because Mowgli, yeah, have a good nod at that one. 4 kills on the round. He found the first 2. He found the last 2. Hiding underneath the window, he gets exactly what he's looking for. And Wolves, with that, 2 rounds straight on their opponent's map pick.
Good stuff there from Mowgli, knowing that in the man disadvantage, he had to make a play. And Fenrir is one of those operators that you really can be able to do that. He's so self-sufficient that he can go on in for his double swing, land some nice headshots, 2 headshots in fact, and then fall right on back and play in the safety of his gadget.
What's funny is they actually brought the Nomad, did Bliss, to try and take map control and then lock it out. But because even when Mowgli fell back into the site, they didn't have time or awareness to air jab off his rotation back in, he still had the ability to go for that flank, which got him his final 2 kills. An unfortunate happenstance for Bliss, but for Wolves, more heroics like that from Mowgli. Yes, please. 5 kills so far in these first 2 rounds. Back-to-back 1K and then 4K. Let's see if he can do even more.
Beyond for something in the second map. Look, If Bliss are going to go like 5-0 on cons, are Wolves going to reply with the same? Because that would be a monumental elimination series if we got the same.
I mean, what, it was 6-0 for Bliss. A flawless defense half on Consulate. And now Wolves on their own defense on their opponent's map pick, Nighthaven Labs. Having never played this map in an official before, they are looking very comfortable on these defenses. Bliss, too slow.
All right, so Wolves are going to take us over to storage and control room as the third bomb side of choice. So choosing not to go to cafe, here goes Mowgli over on the rafters, just catches the legs of Brendo, and Brendo goes, oh no, and runs away as fast as he can, and he gets away with his life for now. But so far, Wolves look to be comfortable over in the garage position. It does look like Bliss are posturing in towards that storage type execute. Meanwhile, some of the other players of Team Bliss are trying to work other options. IT breach now being opened up does put Mowgli under a little bit of pressure, but not out just yet.
Slow and steady from Bliss once again. Well, that's good information. P4 spotted up above. What can Bliss do with that? As you can see, one of those dread mines above the door is going to make this not a very fun position to push on through. Here comes the Finker boost. Now, what was the idea? Just healing up Brendo back to full health, it seems, for Bliss. May as well use that utility while you can to potentially guarantee Brendo a successful entry later into the round. Here we go. This is where Bliss need to start taking some headway. Fisher guy is in the top floor already. Sajon moving forward, but they're not able to take down this player yet.
They're going in for this roam clear in through the top floor. They're dedicating themselves to it, but Mowgli on the other side can use those keeper barricades spontaneously to protect himself and lock out one way of entry now. Taking the duel through the floor, but it's actually Shinka to send one up through the vertical onto Sage for the first pick in this round.
That's a big kill as well. Great job utilizing the verticality around that IT breach. Weightable now trying to duel Mowgli, but Mowgli has been on fire, and he's not going to fall back as of yet. Bliss cannot commit to this push. They will not find the ground they're looking for, as Brendo also whiffs an opportunity to find a kill down back on the site as well. Mowgli's running amok upstairs, and Wettables is looking completely lost. Oh, Mowgli sprayed on down through the wall, but there's another player up here. Brendo has to be ultra cautious. Otherwise, Deadshot's going to do exactly that. A double for Deadshot. Fisher guy, 1v4. Mowgli's still on the ground, but this is not looking doable, and a flawless round will lock out 3 in a row for Wolves.
Not enough info in the late game there for Team Bliss. They squandered their wealth of intel really early on in the rounds. By the time it came to like a minute left, there were only 2 drones up for Team Bliss. There were only 2, and they hadn't been able to clear out the top floor by then, and that forced all of the entry players to go and dry peek in through the top floor. We saw Brendo get taken out. We were on board with him. Wettables was so scared to make his entry because he had no idea what he was walking into, and that was what Wolves did so well. Through the early game, they just shot out drones, and they fell back, and that's what Mowgli was doing in his position inside of Rafters. With that Azami barricade up on the rafters, he was able to fall back in through the rotate and play the safety of his teammates.
Yeah, Mowgli's on a tear at the minute. He hasn't yet died this game. 6 kills, 0 deaths, 2 assists. Always nice to have. On the flip side, Bliss now, they need to start thinking about what they're going to do on the remainder of these attacks. They got 3 more chances, and indeed they could even up the half. But Wolves have been so consistent and so convincing. A flawless round just gone by is evidence enough of that.
Brendo re-picking onto the Jackal. It's making me think that they may be dedicating themselves to a full clear of the map. They want to make use of that vertical with Sage, then put the pressure on the bomb site and then go for something. There's no more Monty on board for Fisher Guy, for example. They're probably not going to put that early site pressure on as we saw them do it last time. And I mean, look at this wall. There is a Kaid and there are 2 meat jammers on the wall. Oh man, they really want that to stay close.
Yeah, this really does force the issue. Bliss must realistically get vertical control if they are to open this wall. With no Thatcher and no Maverick, it's nigh impossible to land enough EMPs to do so otherwise.
Brendo's going to be the first one in the building on the Jackal, of course. You want that operator inside to use his gadget to full effectiveness. And there we go. He's going to activate it. But there is actually a player loitering around in the top floor. I believe that is the mute of Deadshot on the other side, inside of Electrical.
Okay, he knows. You heard that C7E. Oh, Deadshot's been so good, but what a shot in return from Brendo. Opening kill now for Bliss. And Wolves need to be careful. How do they play this roam? Do they fall off? Do they commit?
It's been a great tournament so far for Breno. He's really lit the spark for Team Bliss, especially here on the entry as he makes his way on in, traversing in through the top floor. The remaining player on that top floor has now fallen back into the ground floor. In fact, there are 3 players still situated inside of the ground floor, but that's where Sage is going to come in on the vertical with that sledgehammer to dislodge any positions that are vulnerable to the vertical pressure.
There's still so much more of a roam game going on. Wolves are really committing to contesting. Oh no! What happened there? Mowgli almost lost his head. He shoots some shots the other way, but Oda has once again missed an opportunity. Drones fall one by one. Half the round remain, but only 3 drones, and P4 is now taking down Oda. This is devastating for Team Bliss. They cannot dislodge this roam.
Just missed him. Fisher Guy just missed Mowgli on the cutoff as well as he makes his way inside of Garage, but there goes Sage taking down P4 there on the vertical. Shinga, he really wants his teammate to come back into safety, but Mowgli, I think, is going to dedicate himself to this round. He is now pretty much stuck in Garage unless he can fall off through the hatch.
Oh.
Here goes Fisher Guy, though, on his duel onto Mowgli, and that's going to put Bliss finally at a man advantage.
4v2 is exactly what you need. 50 seconds. Maybe that will be enough. The focus here has to be forcing down a small section of the site and looking to engage it for Bliss. For Wolves, the focus, isolating 1v1s. No more information left for the Aussies. Sage needs to get to work on this vertical game. This information, thank you, Jackal. I'll take that very much, but Shinka says, get out of town. I'm not done yet. 2v3 and still a shot for Wolves.
Really good stuff there from the final 2 players of Wolves, knowing that in the man despot they need to get aggressive, and that's exactly what Shinka does, but he gets taken down. It's Wettables to clear him out, and it's Bibu all alone in the 1-on-3.
Everything to do, but a damage with this diffuser will likely go down for Fish, and Brendo will cover handily. Finally, Bliss. They've stemmed the bleeding, and they've found their very first round of Nighthaven.
Great conviction from Bliss to actually dedicate themselves to the full map clear, send Brendo in on the Jackal and make him do the dirty work. And that's what they needed to do, especially in the defense that Wolves had brought to them. There was no way they were getting that assembly wall open. That's all I'm saying. And even if they tried to break Animus after that, they probably would have wasted, pretty much all around trying to achieve that. So I think making the call early on from Fisher Guy, the IGL, to dedicate themselves to the roam clear, they played that really well with the vertical to dislodge players inside of the hallways, force them to fall off, and then able to convert that down into the basement. It was just so good from Team Bliss.
It was a bit scary, I admit, Mandy. In that mid round, a lot of missed roamers, a lot of missed rotations. Oh, yeah. They did get it at the end of it for Bliss, and now they've taken their tactical timeout. I have information from our producer. They actually called this tac timeout before the round was over. As soon as they lost that player to Shinka through the vertical game, that was when Mingoran said, okay, tac timeout at the end of this round. Win or lose, tac timeout at the end of this round. And Oda is incredibly vocal here. See him on the left-hand side. I'm sure he's had a lot to say to the roster as Bliss get ready to try and reattempt on this attack.
It was Oda and Wettables there doing a lot of talking back and forth in that tactical timeout. It does make me wonder what they've been saying. Oda actually having a pretty quiet tournament in general so far in Atlanta. It's really been his teammates that have stepped up to the plate instead. But now that he has fallen back away from that supporting role into a more frag or lurk heavy role, Oda's in a really tough spot, right?
Oda more than anyone has had to change his role from stage 1, where he was the best player in OS and in his regional league, the highest rated player in the world. Yeah. And now in stage 2, he's struggling to deliver. He's still been pretty good, but it's a completely different role, as you said.
Yeah, the position that Oda's put himself in on the lurk is one that he often finds himself in these really unfavorable gunfights, right? Oda's the player that has to drone himself in and will often be in those positions in 2-on-1 gunfights, that type of thing. Like there are 2 people looking at him and he just has to sit there and wait. That's his job. He's just taking the attention away from Wolves to let the rest of his team have the space to do what he needs to do. And that's what's making his performance really tricky to land, right? It's probably why he has so many choice words for the team, because he's like, guys, help.
Very true. Wolves might be leading here, but Bliss have finally had their first sigh of relief in this map. Now, if you don't want to hear any spoilers for the A stream, close your ears right now, because I'm about to tell you. It's been a good day for APAC. Fury have won the first map of their game against Dark Zero. Bliss have won their first map against Wolves, and both now are just a single map away from making it to the Swiss phase.
Ooh, exciting. Imagine if
Possible. Already 2 APAC teams have qualified to phase 2. We'll see if we can get 2 more.
Exciting, exciting times now. As we've been ticking away, parts of the round have gone down. They've doubled down on trying to get that IT wall open. Not only did they have the mini EMPs on Fisher Guy, but they even had Brendo go in and hack one of those electro claws to make sure that wall would be open nice and easy. Now, last time that Bliss tried to attack this bomb site, they really struggled to get the IT wall open. In fact, I believe that they didn't do it at all, but this time they've done it to great success.
Yeah, quite a contrast, isn't it? We also have Fisho back on the Monty now. Wolves banned it on map 1. And we saw Space Station ban it against Bliss as well. What is Fish going to be able to achieve with this? Now, he can make his way up Garage. He was checking for a Fenrir device there. Nothing to be seen. Now, Deadshot is on this Solus. The first time we've seen Solus this game. And hang on a second, there's a Monty walking up the garage stairs. What are we to do about that?
Yeah, Deadshot's just realized, I've just let someone walk past my line of sight. Not like he could shoot Fisher Guy anyway, but now Fisher Guy is in the top of rafters, giving all the info to his team. And oh, look at that! Wedables can actually capitalize off the back of the Monty pressure coming on through to take down Mowgli.
That's a devilish angle on the upside down rappel. And now Brendo, thanks to that mirror window being knifed by the Montaigne, can hold this tight angle, and Shinka is forced back into a really uncomfortable position.
Tough spot though for Wolves, for Bliss to actually convert it from here. What are they going to do about the mirrors? They don't have range hard breach this time around. Wedables is the only hard breach on Thermite. Fisher Guys switched out to the Monty. So they have to rely on the Monty as the crutch to funnel the way onto the bomb site. And Fisher Guys actually going to flip his take completely and go over to the blue stairs.
Ironically, Deadshot has done the same. On his roam, he's rotated from being near garage to being near the bottom of these blue stairs. He has been spotted, however, on a drone, and Oda's coming around the corner. Does he have the information? He's in the perfect position. Deadshot knows about it, but doesn't land the critical hit. And now, Bliss spring into action. P4, the last man standing. Let's see if you can make magic with this MPX, mate. 1 versus 3, doesn't find a thing. Brendo lights up the server, and Bliss have found their second.
Really solid attack there from Team Bliss. It was very much centered in around that IT breach and trying to create the right opportunity for the players to make their entry way in on through. They didn't have the double hard breach this time around, so Con was essentially out of the question. They probably couldn't get that wall open, but Fisher Guy being able to enable his team to jump in, put the pressure on the defense, make Mowgli get a little bit antsy to open up the first pick, and then enable that second one into Deadshot as well. He really wanted to play that defense at the bottom of the blue stairs, but the info was there for Oda, and after that, Team Bliss knew they had the redundancy in the man advantage, and they absolutely went for it when it came to go time.
That they did. No holds barred for Team Bliss at the end of that round. And on the back of their tactical timeout, they managed to deliver a second round here on Nighthaven Labs on their attacking side. Wolves
have discovered the location of a bomb.
Likely be sweating a little bit now. They've just lost 2 rounds in a row, and their lead is quickly
10 seconds to insertion.
and very dangerously dripping away from them.
5 seconds to go.
Danger zone now for Wolves. Of course, this is their elimination map if they do not secure this one. So they really want to do everything that they can to stave away from being taken out of the tournament. We are going to go back down to the basement defense for Wolves for what I believe is a 3rd time now.
That's
of
right.
The 6, yeah, 3rd time of the 6, and 1 has been successful, 1 has not been.
Yeah, and that very first round that Wolves won on this map, a bit of a disaster for Bliss. Fisher Guy walked straight into the breach with the Monty, didn't see a thing, and was taken out handily. Now, Bliss succeeded on their second by going for a very heavy roam clear. What's the idea now? Is it some kind of hybrid, perhaps?
I think same. They are looking for that roam clear, but they've identified that Deadshot's on the other side with the Solus. I don't know if they brought this along last time they were defending this. I can't remember. They probably did, yeah, like you're saying. And wait, hang on a moment. Deadshot is kind of caught out here inside a meeting. There is a player just outside of the door going into the top of lobby stairs, but P4 is keeping an eye on him. So Deadshot does have a way of falling off here.
Oh, this is really dangerous. Deadshot is so confident. Oh! But there is a trade for P4. Brendo, he's done a lot of good work, but at least P4 is able to take down the Jackal, and that means he's still confident to roam without that information being garnered so easily for Bliss.
Yeah, really good stuff there for Deadshot. But what that means is they are losing out on their Solus in through the mid-round, and they're no longer going to have that info to telegraph what Bliss are doing. Meanwhile, though, the rest of Wolves have vacated out that top floor and have gone out into the ground floor instead. That's where Sage is going to get to work on the vertical pressure to force these remaining Wolves players to go into positions that are not vulnerable to the vertical. Fall off back through EXO. Go and play in the 90 hallway instead, because that cannot be verticaled.
A lot of positions still on the site that are safe. P4 is actually still way off site. He's in kitchen. He's hiding essentially to go perhaps for a late round flank. Bliss will have to keep their eye on him. What is the play now for Bliss? Vertical game, how much progress have we made? A few breaches, but we have seen these fights go in the way of the defense.
I've got a feeling that Bliss are having a think about what they execute here, right? They're thinking about, can they make this Animus hatch that I believe has been pre-opened and then tank coming down cargo stairs work? The rest of the defense has flipped over onto the other side, right? They're on exo stairs instead, so they're not going to see that resistance there until later on in the round. They just need to worry about the flank watch. If they can do it now, as a sort of 4 versus 2 on the bomb site while the retake comes through from the remaining 2 roamers, they might be able to convert it, but with only 30 seconds left to go and not a whole lot of info left for Team Bliss, only 4 drones alive. It's going to be a tough one.
Keep in the back of your mind, P4 still on this roam, on the ground floor. He's poised and ready. What do Bliss do? Sage is in position. P4 makes his move. He finds Sage, and that may be the round in pocket for Wolves. Bliss cannot deal with him. Finally a trade onto Bibu, but Oda dispatched with immediately after. Wedables against 3. Can't even find that first shot. Eventually the kill, but the diffuser in pocket. Planting right in front of a bulletproof camera gives Mowgli quite an opportunity. And pros unfortunately do fake, it seems. For Bliss, a 2-4 half. For Wolves, an opportunity now in the second to take this map.
Much better roam game from Wolves there. They really dedicated themselves to the top floor. It was really good of P4 and Deadshot to actually directly contest the point of entry straight onto Brendo. They knew that Brendo was going to come in from that top lobby stairs door. I'm sure that has a name, and I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. You would think by now that I know that I even labs.
There's like the storage stairs and then the exo stairs, right?
Yeah. See, I've got that. No. I meant top floor. You know, outside
top floor?
there's a balcony.
The blue stairs?
No, the other one. Like the opposite the blue stairs. You know. Like
the stairs that are outside? Or are they inside? The stairs are inside.
They're inside. They're inside. There's the lobby stairs, and then there's like the T hallway.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
What's it called? What's that door called that goes into the T hallway?
I don't know.
On the balcony.
Good question.
Balcony door.
Good question.
Anyway. Whatever.
Don't quiz me on Nighthaven call-outs.
The main point I was trying to say there is that Wolves actually directly contested Brendo on the entry, and that was the big thing that really shut them down last time they went for the roam, and doubling down and playing the crossfire on him, I think really stalled out Bliss in through the mid round. And even though there was an attempt at going in for the execute, the roamers played this awesome game where they just waited on the other side of the map and then like went to go and strike at exactly the right time. Now Bliss are going to go over onto their defending half, and we'll see if they have the same success.
Defensive favored map, yeah, but that's one thing to say. It's another thing to be able to deliver 5 rounds in your defense, which Bliss will need to do to win this game in regulation. Now, Bliss are yet to play a BO1 that does not go to overtime. They finally finished off their first regulation match by taking down Wolves on Consulate. Speaking of Wolves, what are they cooking here?
They can maybe walk in here. Yeah, they're going to do it. P4 was like, all right, that's cool. I'm going to walk my way on into Animus, but they are going to be faced by the resistance of the mirror on the other side. Mowgli, though, can take down Sage. I'm not sure exactly where from, but P4 is going to make a run for it.
Fisher Guy is avidly watching the position, though. Bliss seem to be aware of how dangerously close to the bomb site. Oh no, Deadshot! He walks straight into the double Capcan trap and he loses his life instantly. Bibu's got so much info, but he and Shinka must think up a better idea. I don't know how Sage died in the early round, but Mowgli seems to still be on this lurk, still be doing damage. But he's losing a lot of information. And now Wolves must hunt these remaining roamers.
Yep, having seen their 2 teammates perish on the site, they thought the better of it.
Yeah,
and they thought, okay, all right, Fisher Guy, you can have that one for a couple seconds longer. We'll see you later. And they're going to go for the roam clear instead onto the ground floor. But the time is ticking away. And they don't have as much manpower to do so. Mowgli is going to try and inject himself into the ground floor. Ooh, even make his way down
close. Cargo. This could go either way, this fight. Wedables is looking for a flank and he finds it. Mowgli goes down, 2 still roamers upstairs as Bibu gets desperate. Wedables is eventually traded. Oh, that was so close to being perfect, Bibu. You have no clue. Brendo's got to find this fight. Chica around in the corner. Good pre-fire. Brendo lands it. He does not miss those. Fisho closes it. The site is his and will forever be. Bliss have won their first defense
Man, when Fisher Guy is on the site, you are not getting in. That has been the story of the series so far. He has been a 9-away, the best anchor so far at the moment for Team Bliss. You think about Shinko on the other side, right? He's got almost exactly the same role. I would say exactly the same role, right? Aside from not being the IGL, of course. But, you know, he's the one that's hunkering down on the bomb site, making sure that rushes like that can't happen. And both of these players, their counterparts, actually play that role so well. You can only imagine Shinka watching his two teammates die on the bomb site like, I've seen that before. Just got a taste of my own medicine.
It's very true. And the thing is, Wolves, we've talked about this so much, but they love to drone out the site and see if they can just rush. And it worked for a couple of rounds against Bliss yesterday on Chalet, and they were beautiful. They were amazing. They were dominant. But Bliss have read it. And now Bliss are like, okay, we're always ready for a rush on site. And if we see you drone the same thing 3 times, we know what's going to happen next. You're going to stick your noggin down that window and I'm going to shoot it.
It's very good. Very nice read and adaptation from Team Bliss, knowing that Wolves are always going to put the site in as a consideration, as an option throughout the entire round. It doesn't matter what point in the round it's going to be. Someone's going to be thinking about the bomb site. Anyway, we're going to go over to the top floor instead for Team Bliss, having won out the basement. And it does look like they are leaning into that mirror setup, very similar to what Wolves are bringing, facing in towards that connector breach that has been electroclawed. Wettables, though, seems like he's going to play the trick game onto connector rather than onto IT, which is what Bibu was doing when he was on KE.
Interesting. So they're happy to leave IT, which is usually like the step 1 for a lot of teams. You can see Wolves are second guessing this. They're thinking, okay, is there a Kai there who's going to try and juggle this? Maybe Bliss can waste a bit of time by shooting drones as they try and move in. And Wolves will have to make a decision here. Oh, this Thatcher and Maverick ban, the double whammy, it doesn't make things easy. All of these players here outside the breach to try and open up this wall.
I don't think they know that there's no one here. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
It's a rush.
They're going to go for a rush.
And they go in. The Lions scan to cover, but it may be a signal as well. Mowgli's made his way up the top of Garage. Oda finds the first kill. Mowgli almost taken out. Fisher Guy very careful here. And Sage in a good position. But he is also bunkered down into a corner. And this attempted rush from Wolves seems to have stalled out completely.
Yeah, it's really been stunted, especially by stuff like the one-way Azami and the mirrors that are then facing in towards the IT breach. There's no way they can make an entry any further than that, and Oda sending in the C4 down from below is the one pick that they were able to get. So instead, they're thinking, let's go down below and see if we can hunt Oda. Now, I think Oda's gone, as far as I can understand. He's like, I got my one. See you later, sucker. And he's all the way back inside connector.
He's long gone. He's been gone for years. Oda, oh no, yeah, I knew him a few years ago. He hung out in this area. He found a kill on a Bibu and then he pieced out.
Anyway, here they go. Now they're thinking about connector as their next option, right? They're thinking, okay, this is a bit scary to push on into, so they just want to leave P4 here. Oh, I might have called that wrong. P4 has the diffuser. What are they still doing here? What is the plan?
It just seems like certain death to move into this meat grinder unless if Mowgli goes massive. P4 as well. Both of them have great guns for this. 1.5 times sights. Fisher Guy, like you said, he's the master of the bomb site. In goes a nade. P4 takes a bit of damage. This Keeper Barrier finally taken down. A second impact nade. Doesn't find anything. A Keeper Barrier to protect him. Deadshot finally finds Oda, but the trade comes through swiftly as Mowgli has gone down and P4 has got some things to think about. He's taken a lot of damage. He wants to get this revive off, but it's very unsafe to do so. He risks it for the biscuit, and he might be able to lap it up. Mowgli low HP, and they run away, tail between their legs. Wolves, 15 seconds left, mate. What are you doing downstairs, P4? There is no time for this. Bliss are going to win it by default. P4, you might find one on the flank, but there's no way you'll get inside in time to plant the diffuser. A quick kill, doesn't matter what Shinka's able to do. Bliss will win the round regardless.
Oh man, P4 took the diffuser on an excursion, on a field trip. What is happening there for Wolves? I was thinking, oh, they're thinking about other options. They're going to flip over and do connector and blah, blah, blah. And then they just walked in and then did a round-the-world tour, jumped over the rafters rail because they realized that they couldn't walk in because there was a mirror there. Like, they really didn't figure that out earlier on in the round. And then P4 sends the diffuser all the way down into the ground floor, somehow backstabs Sage. Like, he's probably thinking, all right, fancy seeing you in this part of town. And then what's going on? You know, what's happening?
P4 took that diffuser on an excursion back to France. Mate, that's a 16-hour round trip. Add another 8 on top of that for layovers for Charles de Gaulle. It's just not going to happen.
Oh man, Wolves, what happened in that attack? You know what? Put a hard reset on that, I'm going to say. That was that bamboozled me, I think that bamboozled Wolves just as much.
Speaking of hard resets, where is the tactical timeout? Bliss were down 3 rounds to 1, and they took theirs very early.
Oh no, they used my other map, sorry.
Yeah, and
completely
Wolves used their timeout very early on the first map. And after 2 rounds straight from Bliss and tying up the scoreline, now that Wolves are on their unfavored side, by the way, and yet to look decent at all on these attacks, where is the tactical timeout call from the Loom?
I mean, look, the scoreline's even. I think that we're maybe making the Wolves sound worse than they actually are.
I mean, it was one bad round, but that's 2 ineffectual attacks, right? And now Bliss have an opportunity to take the lead.
Well, I don't want to call it too early. I'm nervous, all right? Every time that we get too excited, bad things happen. It's bad juju, okay? No bad juju.
All right, all right.
Here we go. Wolves on another attempted attack.
With a blitz, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say that they're bringing along something a little bit different here. They've decided to bring along the blitz to go for what I can only imagine is a pretty explosive execute early on in towards the bomb site.
Wolves rushing the site. What do you mean?
Oh no, who would have thunk it? Ooh, hang on a moment.
There's a clash.
Fisher guys kind of not really in the right spot for this. If they want to execute onto Kitchen, they could maybe do it.
I mean, these drones are kind of faking out that Wolves are really going to hard hit lobby. Well, they do send one player in. It's actually Mowgli, and they see the clash. Not able to do a lot. Okay, Shinka is going to come in as well. So this is quite strange from Wolves. I thought it was going to be fairly kitchen heavy, but they instead have taken lobby, and the breach is going to go off onto this wall.
I don't know if Wolves know, but the entire top floor has been vacated to them now. There are no more roamers there for Team Bliss. They've fallen back with the thought in their hands that, okay, maybe some bad times are headed in the way of the bomb site. And that does mean they can now make full use of the vertical. That's Mowgli with the breach charges in hands that can start to wreak havoc here onto the bomb site. Now, on this particular bomb site, there is a bit of a safe haven behind the kitchen bar, and that's where Fisher Guy is at the moment. He's actually on the clash, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. He's being pressured by the vertical, but that's where Brendo is instead. He knows he wants to play in the safety here. Meanwhile, Sage as well on top of Exo says that's safe from the vertical, and so is Oda's position in the hallway, but he might be backstabbed by Deadshot.
Oh, wow. This is perfect. Deadshot, well played, information clearly gathered. And he's taken down Oda now. Is there a refrag? Bibu jumps in. He's the blitz. He is the man to move in, the man on a mission, and it's been all for Wolves. They've dominated 5v1 now. Bosajan can't find a damn thing. Fire up, Mowgli. That's a double for you, and a big round to retake the lead.
Really solid round there for the Wolves. They identified the point of weakness, and that was going in through lobby. And not only that, but they even identified that there was actually no vertical hold anymore from Team Bliss. They all fell off a little bit prematurely back into the ground floor. And yes, they tried to play adjacent to the bomb site, but that's what Deadshot was there for on his lurk. Landing the kill into 90 really enabled the rest of the entries to run their way on through the hallway, straight into the bomb site. And Mowgli, with an excellent entry, opened up the round for Wolves.
I admit I didn't think that was going to work out for Wolves. It seemed like they had a lot of the tick boxes marked, but with the map control that Bliss still had in their hands and with the clash on the board, I didn't think that Wolves would be able to pull that off. The pivotal pick being onto Oda. He was the linchpin of that defense as soon as Deadshot shredded him apart, as did the defense fall. Now down to the basement for Bliss. This was a fairly convincing round the first time they played it. But of course they are now fighting from behind. They cannot lose another round without guaranteeing Wolves a map point.
Back down in the basement we go for Team Bliss. They look for their roam through the map, aided by this combination of the Solace and the Mute Jammer, pretty similar to what Wolves were doing to try and deny some of that entry going in through the map. Sorry, deny the entry, deny the info going in through the map. Words are really hard.
I feel you.
Anyway, here we go. Animus being opened up for Shinka early on. Not a lot of resistance on the side of Team Bliss going in onto the bomb site itself.
Faking the rush.
Yeah, look, the only thing they could have done was have Wettables basically put a Mute Jammer on the wall, and that's about it. So the rush has been faked out like you've called, but it doesn't seem like Bliss realized that they've bluffed.
I think Bliss still have a pretty decent read. Like, oh, look at this from Oda. Oh,
sorry, they do realize that they've bluffed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Words are hard.
Words are hard indeed. Oh, Oda's so tempted to go for a run out on this player. And the temptation is real. Still waiting for him.
Bad idea.
Definitely a bad idea. Oh, what's going on here? Deadshot's gotten into a gunfight, but he does win it eventually. Mowgli is about to fall as Sajon finishes him off. Deadshot's very low HP on this roam clear. A single bullet, and he's gone.
Brendo is kind of on his own on the other side here. Like, yes, he could fall off through EXO if he wants to play for safety, but he wants to get his teammate across as well. Oh no, Oda is in a much worse spot than Brendo's in, I'll tell you what. Oh, he's getting away with his life. Oh, and Brendo can get the down. Oh, but not out. Not as exciting.
That's fine. Doesn't need to be out yet. Deadshot was low HP. Here comes BB. Oh no, Oda. You may not know it, but you are in the perfect position to win this round for Bliss. There's a numbers advantage. He doesn't have his phone calling. Do they have any clue where he is? Oh, they would have heard that drop. Now he's trapped. He has to take a player or two with him to the grave. He spots one, takes down the fight. He's being pinched from 2 angles and he falls. But not without dealing damage first. Deadshot still 1 bullet away from death. But the same can be said for Sage.
Wolves might have done enough here. Man advantage and so many points of pressure. Shinka is still sitting out of that assembly breach and he's going to take some shots onto Fisher Guy. Taken very low now. Has to expend one of his smoke babes to keep him at bay. But look at this double push in through EXO from Wolves.
Fisher's got to go big here. Shotgun in hand. But there are some long-range engagements coming his way. P4 not going to overpeak that. Fisher Guy could time this perfectly though with the flank. I don't think Wolves will give him the chance. P4 starts forcing down that diffuser. Sage knows exactly what's up. He has to win this fight onto the player on the breach. Fisho's found one. A winnable retake now as P4 is a moment away from gas. And Fisho makes his way back again. P4's taken so low. Same can be said for Shinka. Every player in the server, low HP. Shinka falls away. He leaves his teammate to die for the chance.
Stick it.
For the chance to win it. Shinka versus Fisho Guy. As Sajon looks for information, Fish has to stick this. It's so narrow. He can tuck into the corner, and Shinka must move. But how deep will he get? Fisho Guy has got to stick it. Shinka finds the final shot, and Wolves with that, a map point beset before them.
The Clutch King himself can win it out in the 2 versus 1. Such a close 2-on-3 situation for Bliss, but Wolves had done enough through the mid-round, taking down the 2 players as they tried to fall back in through EXO, put them in the right situation to close it out, going in through EXO, planting in the blind spot from wherever the defenders might have been, and then leaving Shinka to his own devices outside of that assembly breach was all that Wolves needed to do, and they've put themselves on match point, trying to stave away from elimination.
And they're doing a damn good job of it too, Mandy. Nighthaven Labs, never have Wolves played this brand new map in an official capacity. Bliss, we've only seen it from them once, and they won it in overtime. They will need to do the same thing here to close the series in 2.
It's still possible. It is still possible for Team Bliss to keep themselves in it in 2-0 fashion, but Wolves will not go down without a conversation. We're going to go back over into the top floor. Once again, leaning into that Mirror Azami setup, trying to create a fortress interior in towards the bomb site. Those exterior walls, they can be forfeited. Weather balls, he can toy with those for a little bit, see what's going on. But at some point, they will fall. The main point of defense for Team Bliss, very similar to Wolves, is going to be on the inside of the map. Now, last time that we saw Wolves attack this, it wasn't so good.
No.
it was so hot.
They really tried to rush that IT breach.
They really did.
It did not work.
So hopefully, this time around, they do better. And I think bringing along the double hard breach on Shinka and Deadshot does make me think that they're going to take a more methodical approach to solving this.
Yeah. Mowgli's been on fire this game, by the way. 10 kills and so many impactful ones at that. A lot of multi-kill rounds too. Brendo, we've talked about him a little bit. What a tournament for the young man. Youngest player on the team. And, I mean, he struggled in Copenhagen. Let's not beat around the bush. Glad that he's found his feet here in Atlanta.
Ooh, does Wettables know? They've actually identified exactly where the key core is on. Unfortunately, that electric core is just a little late onto the breach, and it's not going to win out the trick. Really nice stuff there from the 2 players of Wolves to double down and get that one open nice and easy.
Ooh, Brendo's spotted. It's actually an Azami barrier protecting him from that external doorway at top blue stairs. Mowgli's continuing to drone around. I don't think he knows about Oda's position, though. There seems to be a player aware outside the window.
Oh, they know what's going on. So Oda's thinking, okay, guys, bad times are headed my way. I need some help. And that's what they're doing now. Vishogo is like, oh, I can do that. I can help you out. And I'm going to send some vertical holes through the floor and deny that entry that Mowgli has been looking for. Although what they do have to worry about is that there is some pressure going on to the bomb side. That IT breach has now been opened. They need some guns trained on that actively to make sure they don't enter in early. Not just that, but connector also open. Deadshot can now make his way on in with the Selmas and clear out that mirror.
And he does so quite easily as well. Oh, Fisher guy, oh, he's not able to trick it. At least he does destroy the second one. Immediately the keeper barrier follows. And the E1D to boot. For Wolves to lock Bliss in place. I don't think they gain much information on the back of it, or ground for that matter. Oh, Shinka's got info. Info for days. Fisher has got to be very careful.
It looks pretty explosive here from Wolves. They have opened up all the options for them, and it's spread Bliss thin. A player on each angle. It's going to come down to the 1 versus 1s as they look for their explosion. Deadshot just outside of the rafters. He's going to allow himself in by burning off that Aruna gate, but IT is going to be the main point of pressure. That's Shinka with the diffuser in hand, and with only 30 seconds left to go, they have to press the attack.
Oh, Sage! He's found the first one. He's looking for the second. Deadshot has to find this kill for Wolves to win the round. Oh, no. Sage, don't swip weapons now. You need that gun, and you need to land some more headshots. 2 kills for Sage on. And it will need to be the younger brother to do the rest. 3 players left remaining. Fisher guy, the IGL, finds one. With 2 more to go, 7 seconds on the clock. Bibu, no diffuser. They need to find it, Mowgli! Wolves! They've clutched the round, and with that, we're going to map number 3.
And how deserving of this series. Both of these teams take each other's map pick in pretty dominant fashion. Wolves finally able to find their momentum back here on Nighthaven Labs.
Mowgli had a bone to pick with Bliss, and he's got the fight he was looking for. What a performance. 12 kills for the young man, and a 7-4 victory. A telling tale. Bliss might have dominated on Consulate, but Nighthaven Labs was a different story completely. These teams trade each other's maps, and we will have to settle it all on Clubhouse in the decider for this elimination series.
I'm so keen to get onto Clubhouse. I feel like this series deserves map 3 so bad.
This series deserves 15 rounds of map 3.
I'm so excited.
Everything.
It's going to be great. But yeah, I can't wait to go onto Clubhouse. I feel like Clubhouse is another one of those maps where the map is going to test the teams as much as the teams are going to test each other, and it's going to be such a fun time.
I don't know about you guys, but Wolves are hungry for revenge, and Bliss are hungry to go deeper into the tournament. Which way is it going to go? We'll have to stick around and find out.
This is my first international event, and it's my first time being outside of Australia, purely because of Siege.
It's going to be a lot of mental work and focus put into keep on pushing forward.
We know our potential, we know what we are capable of. We have no doubt that we can win again. We just have to prove to everyone else.
It's more about bringing in the right culture than it is me telling them how to play the game. I don't tell them what to do in that way because they know it better than I do.
I've been working on myself, I've been working on my mental every day. Win or lose, we're still going to be there, we're still going to play for fun.
The opponents could definitely take the title from us, without a doubt in my mind. So I would probably be more worried if I wasn't nervous.
The past is the past, but in the moment you have everything you need to do to be better.
Hey, I'm Dominique Clément, game designer on Rainbow Six Siege. If you want to get ready to confront the next addition to the Siege roster, here are a few advice. Maverick's Flaming Gadget might be that one tool you can always rely on when it's time to melt through the enemy's defense. Training your sharpshooter skills, and more specifically, with gadgets like Zophia's Lifeline, will come in very handy when it comes to countering the effect of her fresh new face. Finally, it wouldn't be Siege if explosions didn't have an impact on your game. And this season is the perfect moment to review your frag throwing skills, because a well-placed bang might just be what you need to clear you and your team a path to victory. That's all for now, but make sure you tune in to the full reveal to get all the information on what's coming next season. See you there.
Clubhouse, so a lot of work to be done ahead of them here. It could be a 4-2 attacking half here for Fury. They got a much better performance, I think, on CCTV there. They still did very well taking the catwalk, but they got the diffuser down much better. I don't know, Dark Zero, they sort of played for those nitros underneath last time around, but this time Pamba's throwing himself out a bedroom window, and I get it, there's a bit of comms going on there saying, look, I've got him by the white van, but you've got such precious cargo in your pocket with that nitro that it is a big loss to lose him out of a window like that.
It's another big round from Crit J as well. Like, really across the team, I9's the one that you're looking at this game after a massive 4K that he had in round 1, really propelling him forward, but it's been Crit J for me that has been the most consistent across these rounds. BG Man, in comparison to last map, pretty quiet. He's already on more deaths and certainly far fewer kills. But that's quite typical where you'll see players just kind of vary up and down map to map. We all do it ourselves. We're playing rank, for example. It happens. But Crit J, again, is that young gunner. I think a lot of eyes are on him. There's a lot of expectation. He's delivering on this map at the very least and has pulled Fury back ahead here, 3-2.
Going to be down to basement then for the final defense from Dark Zero. I think they are pretty much locked and loaded down in the site again, so giving the map over to Fury. There's been 2 rounds so far. Fury have won one, Dark Zero won the other, so it is a 50-50, no real advantage to either side. Fury certainly weren't as good in the last attacking round as they were in their first. They were able to really collapse on site with some great precision strikes to find a couple of kills and give themselves the room that they needed, but it did still come down to a 1v1 at the end between Lycolis and Rice. So Dark Zero certainly need to be careful here, because there is definitely a world where Fury are able to take an advantage into the second half.
Once we stretch. Got themselves a clear through the map and are working now on getting, I imagine, very, very soon, all the verticals opened up. Hatches being cracked open inside a kitchen at the same time, just making sure they're getting everything done and prepped before really having about half the round here to work with. Key change this time round. Obviously, BG Man being on the Thatcher means no more electrified hatches. Not that Dark Zero have a Kaid, they're going for the Bandit on Rice instead.
Yep, this time it is Pambazu playing in behind that generator. Gavini's going to be a little bit deeper as he was in the first round. So again, a little bit of a switch in personnel and just where everybody's playing. For the time being, Fury are opening those hatches, making sure, again, whether it's phantom pressure or actual pressure, that there's just plenty for Dark Zero to think about. They did drop this hatch last time from Bar into Moto and push themselves into Church. Rice is there, he's in position, ready to fight back should that happen.
And they know now that Bandit is trying to trick onto the triple wall as well. So a wall side take is doable, but definitely more challenging than maybe trying to go for what they've done before, which is the heavy blue side hits. They need to remove the Bandit away, because by the looks of it, Tim, this is going to be their attack, and they've chosen the hard side, that's for sure.
I'd like to see a bit more pressure, I was just going to say, from Kitchen side. Crit J is in there with the book opening everything up, just preventing anybody from playing underneath there. The hatch is open. They haven't really done anything to deal with dirt, so I would have to suggest that they're going to push the blue and Bar side, because otherwise dropping this hatch is going to be, well, asking for trouble.
Bit of a rotate over here as well, with a couple of players looking to drop at the same time inside of Kitchen. You can be a little bit isolated, really, if that's all you're going for. But by the looks of it, there's also a player coming down blue. So it's a 3-point push coming in here. Hard focus immediately onto the Church wall, mind you. Trying to force their way through the Bandit. They might just get away with it. Gaveni's gone down, but Dark's also been taken out.
Kills come in, then it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath. BG Man finds Rice, 20 seconds left to go. There is one down. I9 finds a real long-range effort. BG Man onto Gavini. This is all going Fury's way. 15 seconds left to go. Like always, needs to think about getting the plant down. How about that from Canadian? Uses the shotgun to create his angle and create the kill, but like always, is in there getting the plant down. BG Man says, don't you worry about it. I'm going to find the kill
And we're back. It is time for the final map on the B stream. of the tournament, believe it or not. After this, it's all A stream now.
Why'd you get spooky?
Because it's the last map of the B stream. I know it was October yesterday. I know. Oh well, whatever.
You're just living in the October vibes forever.
I am. Well, we kind of went back in time to come to America, right? 16 hours back in time. I think I've just continued to go back in time.
Fair enough.
But we must march forward, and that means saying goodbye to Team Bliss or to Wolves. And one of them will not make it into the next phase. One of them will die in the playoffs, or play-ins rather, and go home on the next flight that we can book them.
We have been given an absolute treat so far in this series. Nighthaven Labs and Consulate, the first two maps we played out, both of the newbies going out in the server, and each team taking each other's map pick. So we have to go to a map 3. And this is the match summary of this last one. Shinka putting up pretty good numbers, but really the telltale was Mowgli on the entry. He really just did the dirty work for Wolves, especially when it came down to the execute phase. If he was still alive, Wolves were able to convert it.
Yeah, very much so. He was good at the start of the round. He was good at the end of the round. Mowgli all around just having a good time, which is great because I think yesterday he really struggled. And he was the player that we were probably talking about the least. But it's time to get into Clubhouse. We saw Bliss play it earlier today. They lost it 7-8 to Space Station Gaming, who have already booked their ticket to the next stage of the tournament. Now, Team Bliss have a final chance, a repeat, to do it again. But they must take down Wolves for the second time. This is the ultimate tiebreaker. Bliss versus Wolves. Quite a rivalry we have forged here in Atlanta. But only one can go on. The other must go home.
Team Bliss, quick ban. Straight on to the Thatcher, hey? I wonder what Wolves are going to do in response.
Well, here we go.
That is fair enough, I think. If I'm on Team Wolves and I've seen what Fisher Guy has been able to do on Monty, we're going to Clubhouse, that's all right, I reckon. I think that's fair enough. Make sure that he cannot have that option on the attack. That does leave Maverick in, right? So not only that, but Cade being banned out as well probably means that the trick game isn't really a thing that's going to happen. Unless they pull a Forest and jump onto the Bandit. Oh!
Bliss are loving these Bandit bans, hey. What's this all about?
Forest is in their head, man. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I don't know if that's what it is. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, the final round of Bliss Space Station, Forest on the Bandit kind of won Space Station the round.
It did.
But Bliss also banned it on the first map as well. I think this is Bliss trying to throw some kind of curveball out there.
No, all I'm saying, Forest is in it.
Forrest, if you're watching, mate, you scared Bliss so much that they're banning this operator every single map from now on.
You know what? Fair enough. That means that there is no electrification tricking at all on this side of the defense. Thatcher being banned out as well just means there's only mini EMPs, but you kind of don't need to bring them. Well, it's not a necessary evil anymore to bring mini EMPs because the only things you want to be clearing are mute jammers. And anyway, we're going to go down into the basement. Mutes are not going to be brought anyway, so all the walls are going to be open for free if Wolves choose to do so. Doesn't look like Bliss are looking for too extended of a roam. They are going to reinforce all of the hatches on the ground floor, so not looking to do like a moto fall off or anything like that. They are just going to hunker their way down inside of the bomb site.
5 seconds remaining.
Let's see how Wolves go on their attacking side. Bliss on the defense, going to the basement first up. Wolves, like you said, no real need to bring EMPs. Instead, they're expending their operators on such things as Capitao and the Twitch. Really exciting ideas. Wow, look at the speed, the pace from Mowgli.
Ooh, he's getting his way straight on in. Wolves know that Bliss have forfeited the entire map to them, and Mowgli has just snuck past the main stairs camera. He's going to completely catch Oda off guard. He has absolutely no idea. He's just walked in through the top floor. None of the players on Team Bliss were on cams early, and they got punished for it.
Mowgli continuing his form here in this third map, and definitely final map. Oda's gone down. Very talkative player he is, so he's got cameras to watch and ideas to contribute, but the rest of the team will have to deliver. Wolves now, what is the idea? Moving on forward, opening up these hatches should be fairly easy thanks to that Hibana, thanks to the can openers from P4. Speaking of, here it comes.
Wolves haven't got a lot going for them at the moment in the attack. They've got a lot of options, right? They have all the hard breach they could possibly need, so they can open up any wall that they'd like to get open. Not only that, but they have some nice execute-based utility in the hands of P4 as well, and a set of flashbangs on Bibu as well. So it's really going to be on these two players, P4 and Bibu, to go ahead and actually have this planning phase of the execute work out for them. All they need to do is put the entries of Mowgli and Deadshot in the right spot to cover them for whatever plan that they want to do, and they have a whole minute and 25 seconds left to think about it.
Numbers advantage, time on their side. Ooh, Shinka, look at this. This is very, very nice. That Twitch drone has gotten in. Oh, it's taken down not one, but two were my magnets. This leaves Brendo incredibly exposed. Finally, that Twitch drone is taken down, but it has been worth its weight in gold.
Love that from Shinka. He's really going to enable his team to make this blue execute work as the flashbangs start to sail in. Deadshot's going to put a nade to follow, but it doesn't quite connect onto the player. Wettable is taking a little bit of damage, but not out just yet.
Yeah, but he has lost his shield, and now he will get aggressive. He relocates around to the green box. And Shinka sends his drone in once again, his final Twitch drone, looking for more information, looking for the players, looking for the dread mines, looking for any kind of utility. Oh my god, that is so many.
He really wants to clear out these dread mines, like you're saying, but when they're inactivated like that, he can't clear them out. And that's why Sage only now has activated that second one, but here comes the execute. Only 25 seconds left, but Deadshot's going to make his way in.
Mowgli does find his second, though. Oh, another one for Mowgli. He's unstoppable. Or so you would think. Brendo takes him down. Sage, and you could win the round for your team. Oh my god, Sage. This man does it again. Every damn time you look, and he is there waiting to steal the round. Doesn't matter. He's got dread mines to win it. Bibu will stick this diffuser. The two brothers must counter. And indeed, Brendo steps up to the table. Fist bump for Big Bro and Little Bro here. And Bliss have started strong on club.
That was actually so smart. The entire time we were on board with Shinka, and I was like, why hasn't Shinka shot down a dread mine yet? The entire time I was like, yes, the wood mines have been sunk down. That's really cool. And that enabled them to do some good stuff in blue. That was excellent. I thought that was so good from Wolves. But why has none of the dread mines gone down? And the reason why is because they're inactive, right? Sage through the mid round decided to take them all away and only have one of them activated. And that made them safe from the mid-round clear that was happening from Wolves as Shinka tried to make his way in. And then only as execute was happening, he reactivated them all again, and then they couldn't be cleared. That was so smart.
It's amazing. You have to be so quick, so prompt in order to use Fenrir like that. And I feel like so few people are. It requires such active attention, and it requires being incredibly quick at activating and deactivating the different devices, juggling them, if you will. But for Sage, I mean, it's just another day in the office. Two pivotal kills, and incredibly well played from Bliss. That said, Mowgli, this guy is on fire. He finds 3, and he could well have found another. And now Wolves, well, they're fighting from a 1 deficit.
Team Bliss are going to jump over to CCTV and catches the second bomb site. But oh no, Wettables, he's going to be shut down by Deadshot. Really sharp shooting to take down a player early. But Team Bliss have been in this situation before. Just the last round, Mowgli did the exact same thing onto Odos. They've been in man deficits before, but can they clear it back?
Well, yeah, like you said, 4v5s are no strangers for Bliss. Wolves have to make sure they are consistent during this mid-rounds. Let's see, Bibu's done a good job opening up that first breach. Oh, but the mirror actually hasn't been taken on down. That's kind of awkward. That means that that's also not even vaultable.
It's a bit yoinky-splinky, as some might professionally say. I don't think it's too bad though, right? It's like a line of sight. Bibu's still got pressure. I mean, they can't play it. That's like the main thing, right? And they can still pressure out rafters. But here goes Mowgli, down inside the lounge. He's gone and taken out Sage, but not before being killed by the wall from Fish O'Brien. He's going to go for the 2K down in mini garage. It's leaving Bibu and Shinka all alone inside the middle of the bomb site, by the way, is Shinka. He's going to get C4'd from below, but not out.
The thing is here that Bibu can't jump into sight, so it's all up to Shinka to force this diffuser down. Bibu cannot overcommit. Shinka is so worried. He does fire out the position, but Bibu's gone down. Fisho guy has been amazing. And now Shinka must clutch up 1 kill. 2 more required. Oda and Brendo. Well, Oda makes his way forward. What an impact. Oh, the fire. And that will be an easy retake there for Bliss. Focused, but not too focused. And they will go for the fist pumps and easily disable that diffuser.
Oh man, how is Shinka in the middle of the bomb site? That's all I'm asking, right? The wall is open, we're thinking, that's a bit strange. And then all of a sudden we're on board with Bivu and Shinka's like in the middle of the server going, guys.
How did he get there? Did he jump in the
Save
CC
me.
window? I honestly do not know how Shinka got into the bloody site.
That was a Wolves classic. They tried to pull a Wolves El Clasico on Bliss and it didn't work because Fisho guy was there and he's like, hang on a second, I see what's going down here inside of the ground floor. And he shut them all down. And Oda there with a really nice, I guess, deny of the client right at the end to close things out onto Wolves. Good composure from Bliss.
Yeah, and now we've seen quite a few times where Bliss are perfectly happy to let Wolves into the site a little bit and go for really confident retakes. A lot of teams, as soon as they lose that site control, they're like, oh damn, we got to just go for a C4. If we can't deny the plant, we are screwed. But Bliss is saying, no, it's fine. Like, it's 2v2. We whittled them down. We can work together and make sure that we win the post plant. No worries at all.
Bliss have got the formula, you know, especially after their first BO1 against Wolves. They know that Wolves are going to hit the bomb site eventually. Now, when that eventuality happens, I don't know.
30
Nobody
seconds
knows.
in, 60 seconds in.
Yeah, exactly. Late round, 20 seconds left. You don't know. It's Team Wolves. These guys are the masters at changing up the pace. They do it in E-Well, and that's been their MO. But basically the past, 2 years, right? They're such a good team at knowing when to change the pace. And Team Bliss are like, okay, we've got to be constantly thinking about that. And you can see by the way that they've set up all these strategies, they're a lot closer in towards the bomb site, and you've constantly got Fisher Guy babysitting the bomb site all the time.
Yeah. A lot of weight on his shoulders, but Fish, this isn't his first rodeo. This is his 4th major now, 2 with the Chiefs, and now his 2nd with Bliss. Fisho is actually also one of the longest standing players in the scene. This guy has been playing since the very start of Pro League in the Oceanic region, back in the ANZ Pro League days. And he is leading Bliss to what could be the deepest run he has ever made at a major.
Here goes Bibu, trying to open up the jacuzzi wall. Now, of course, both Cade and Bandit has been banned out, so the only thing they'd have to worry about is Mute on the other side. And there are no Mute gems on the other side. Fisher Guy's probably dedicated them over to Bathroom.
Fish!
Here goes Wolves!
P4's gone in. Do they know about this, Bliss? This is very strange. Sage has just let him on through, but there's good sound cover from the Ram. P4 now has information. He knows there's a player behind here. Sage is completely clueless, but it doesn't matter because he can flick to his head regardless. Another one surely for Sage not to be. Shinka pairs up with his teammate. Right in the bomb site now, Wolves. As 2 players from Bliss have to retake from the other side. Mowgli's so good. Brendo goes down. Mowgli keen for another one. Wedables. Oh, he peeks onto the balcony, but there's nobody there anymore. He can take down Mowgli eventually. 2-on-2.
They have info. O's got some Valkyrie cameras at the player in the top main. He's going to be able to pre-fire him. No, he's not. Deadshot can land a shot. Shinka can land the second. And that's Wolves with a great rush onto Gym and Bedroom.
A perfect rush. It is their MO, as you said. But finally, on the scoreboard are the Europeans. Bliss had a decent read on that, and it looked like they were to weather the storm. Fisher Guy found the opener with that C4, but Wolves ever so persistent. Piece by piece, they will continue to march on forward, and they care not if you are ready for a rush. They commit to it anyway, and they will do what is needed. Yeah, so solid from Wolves, continually.
Yeah, especially from Mowgli, right? He really cut down that defense in half. Not only did he pay attention to the security window, the server window, peek out into the balcony, but he then hopped in, helped out with the entry, made sure that things were going all right on the bomb site, realizing that was all vacant, and you know, it was done from there. Wolves did a great job.
The first round of attack for them on this map. Check mark. Good job. All done. Now, Bliss earlier today against Space Station, both halves were 3-3. 10
seconds left.
Very even in regulation, and then Bliss lost on the final round when they were attacking. I think that tells you pretty much all you need to know. This is a damn even map. And you can't say, oh, well, Wolves can be okay fighting from behind because, you know, they're on their attack. No, you've got to be good on attack and defense on Clubhouse because both of these teams are.
Especially with the way that the bans have gone out as well. Such an odd game of Clubhouse, not having that trick minigame happen at all through the entire map. It does mean that like walls are getting opened. They are open in a weird way, right? And then after that, you've got to pay attention to stuff like going in through the execute. But you don't have Monty. It's like, it's such a strange matchup of Clubhouse. Anyway, whoa, Mogi's in real early down inside a lounge. He must have had some info, and he's going to catch Sage on his fall off down through red stairs. There is still a player inside of Garage. I can only imagine that's Brendo, the younger brother on the other side, trying to collect the refrag.
Yeah, Mowgli's so good today. He woke up and he chose violence.
He's rapid.
He is indeed. Brendo's still at the bottom of the stairs here. Don't know when he's going to make his move. There is a camera here. So Shinka's position revealed. The Ying Coundellas go out. Oda finds one. Brendo gets his first. Traded on back. But is the damage done very early in the round? Have a look at that. There's only bloody 1:45 left on the clock. This has been a very short round so far, but so much has happened.
Fisher guy's feeling the pressure now. They've tried to make an execute work on the bottom side about halfway through, and now he's recalled his players back. He's realized, okay, guys, no more 1v1s. We've lost a lot of players. Let's just head back on in and play for these dread mines. He's now activated his third dread mine, and the rest of Wolves need to slowly dissect it. 2 players on drones at the moment, both Deadshot and P4 going through the thinking phase, and it's going to be P4 actively calling what execute they want to go for. He's going to burn out one of the dread mines, going to telegraph his position, and that nade is going to do the second.
Deadshot almost actually got a kill with that nade. P4's got good info in the site. A Candela to go out.
Oh no.
This will be devastating for Fish if he's not able to get to safety. A second to go out as well. P4 goes deep. Will he land the final kill? Oh, Fish gets him. Crossfire as well from Wettables from far along. Shinka tries to make his way down blue, but it's just not going to happen. Deadshot and him must pick up the pieces.
Yeah, Shinka, he couldn't progress on forward anymore. He was caught out by the Dread Mine, as we spoke about earlier, and that's forced him to come back up and rendezvous with his teammate of Deadshot. It seems like they are going to dedicate themselves to this kitchen hatch drop or down the main stairs. Do Team Bliss know? That is the question, or are they going to be looking the wrong way?
Not even the blue hatch is open. Wolves do not have many options here, Mandy. They're doubling back once again. The classic Wolves, they have no time to make a decision, and so a terrible one must be committed to. Fish should hopefully in a moment get an idea that both of these players are coming from blue. Wettables waits. SMG 11 in hand. No time left. 1 kill for Wet. The trade comes through. Oh, Deadshot! You're not allowed to do that, mates! He's just found them both!
I cannot believe that from Deadshot. Shoots one, 90 degrees, shoot the other. The crossfire from Bliss, not there. Fisher guy not quite looking in the right direction, worrying that there would be a player inside of dirt. Bliss losing their composure in the final seconds of the round to be gunned down.
Oh, the intensity for Bliss. That was their round to lose, and Wolves stole it away from them. Deadshot himself put the round on his shoulders. He said, "This is my moment." Some insane mechanics, and he keeps his cool. 4-2 at the moment on the scoreboard for Deadshot, as we are even between Bliss and Wolves. And Bliss decide, okay, guys, that's our second attempt on Church. It didn't work out on the second shot. Same can be said for Gym and Bedroom. Let's mix things up a little bit.
I've got to say, just want to go back to Deadshot for a little bit. I do really rate the pickup of Deadshot onto Wolves.
Yeah.
I feel like Deadshot was that little bit of consistency in the front line that they needed. You know, Mowgli? Sometimes he has games like this that are like, whoa, Mowgli. And then there are other games that are like, oh no, you know?
Whereas there are games where he's 0-5.
Yeah, I feel like Deadshot's your consistent shooter, you know? He's always there, doing his thing, shooting people down, and then when you have your superstar in play as well, they can be a deadly duo.
That's right. Yeah, Mowgli's a superstar and Deadshot is Mr. Consistent, which is exactly what this team needed. Especially with the prowess of the supportive trio rather, P4, Bibu and Shinka, such good enablers for the rest of the team. Keep an eye on Mowgli in that early round, he's always looking for something.
Wonder how Wolves are going to approach this one. It is a bar and stage defense, and it can often be a little tricky to pick apart. Do they actually go for the full clear across the map, or do they just go for something linear? The fact that they are opening up Jacuzzi does make me think that they are looking for that full top floor compressor, and here goes P4.
Oh, this is so classic Wolves, isn't it? Just straight on in on the back of the breach and nade, and then entry. Mowgli's found one looking for a second. Brendo, you better be ready for this, but you're not, and you'll lose your head because of it. Mowgli, 2 kills on the entry, and it's looking perfect for Wolves. His last 2 players from Bliss right next to each other, and there's 2 whole minutes of the attack to sort out a push.
Really nice explosive entry there for Team Wolves, and it's going to force the remaining 2 players of Team Bliss to get aggressive, but they've been seen on their aggression and taken down. That's Deadshot to take down Oda, but not before Wedables can get one onto Mowgli. Now 1 versus 4, but surely this one's dire. Surely it is, but apparently no, he can claim the second one onto Deadshot. 1 versus 3, slightly more doable, but still in such a rough spot.
Oh, P4, he's gone down.
Wedables.
Not out, I don't think Wet knows. Plant's going down, Shinka in a good position, very safe Plant. This is going to be such a solid post plant for Wolves. Hard to lose. Do you know, Bibu? Do you know? Because Wedables is just around this corner. Good flash. Oh, that keeps him at bay for another moment. Bibu goes aggressive. You don't need your thermite charge now, mate. The res has come through. P4's back on his feet, and Wedables has a lot of work to do. 3 kills will be required, and a defuse, 24 seconds to get it done, but Bibu on the rotate back. A massive sigh of relief from him. And a fantastic round from Wolves as they take the lead on Club.
Man, they've been so good on the entries in the early game. It feels like it has been Wolves through and through in the early game. We're going over to round 6, but they are really starting to pick up this momentum on the attack. Mowgli and P4 were in the building so fast. The moment that the Jacuzzi breach went on, P4 was like, right, I'm getting it done myself. If y'all can't do this, I'm running on in. And he did it with the gridlock.
He did.
And he sent it, and he took him down.
He did. I mean, I really love that. Very rarely you see someone cooking a nade before the breach is even open, but he timed it so that he could throw it as soon as that breach detonated. That's a very nice touch from Wolves. Bliss, what's been going on? 3 rounds in a row. Wolves have stolen away from you. Time to wake up or go down quietly.
Tough spot now for Team Bliss. I actually almost expected them to take their tactical timeout, not in that last round, but the round previous, because of how the momentum was really starting to swing in the way of Wolves, but they seem backed into their strategy. They want to head down to that basement bomb site now. That basement bomb site, it was close between these 2 teams. It came down to a 2 versus 2, and Shinka and Deadshot landed some nice shots to close it out. So they really aren't going to change too much here. Bliss, they're happy strategically overall. They just want to play it a little bit better.
And there are some minor changes, Mandy, as well. If you look at the operator lineup for Bliss, for example, Fisho has given the Fenrir back to Sage, who was so good with it in the first round, and himself has taken on the smoke, which will be good time delay in the late round, which I think is exactly what Bliss need against Wolves. Oh, what an angle! Oh, no, not enough bullets. Mowgli wants to hunt for that one.
Mowgli's in, man. Mowgli is in like every single round, like 20 seconds in. He's so confident.
You could say it's a risk taker, but we haven't seen him punished for it, ever. He's so quick, and he's making Bliss look like fools. He's been so consistent in this game so far, but now he's taken a step back. He said, look, I'm going to compromise a little bit on my firepower here, get off the Ash and go to the Dokkaebi. We need it for the team, as that Fenrir device is spotted. He's not going to be able to take it down as it is deactivated for now, but he will march his way down the main stairs.
This is a lot of time for Wolves. 2 minutes on the clock, and they've already got the majority of the hatches open. The last one to do is kitchen. That's Bibu's job, and he's going to get that done pretty easily. There's not a whole lot of resistance on the other side unless Brando can get the trick or whatever, but I can only imagine Brando's probably off in blue doing something or another. I don't know. Anyway, so Wolves, they've got a lot of time here in this mid-round to make things work. Everything's open. They have the vertical all to their hands. They just need to put some conviction into whatever execute they're trying to do, and take a little bit of time to dissect the remaining things inside of the bomb site. That's where Shinka is going to be so important at the moment on the Twitch. How many of these Fenrir devices can he deactivate? That is the question.
Well, at the moment, Sajon has only got 2 activated. The one at the bottom main stairs is not. Shinka's Twitch drone's been able to be taken down by Bliss without it finding anything. He sends the second out now.
Well, the danger here is that because all the hatches are open and the pressure is on, Sage can't really deactivate these things anymore. And he doesn't have any more activations as far as I can see as well, right? So both of these are going to be left up because Team Bliss know that at any time, Wolves will strike. But it seems like they're dialing the pace back. They're still having a think before they commit to anything.
This will be a 5v5. In goes the final Twitch drone. What's Shinka going to do with it? He's looking for, what, Valkyrie camera's utility on site? I don't know what he's going to see. Mowgli goes to push down blue. Some strange smoke grenades likely used to burn those my discs. Brendo's fallen back. He knows he's no longer protected. Wedables has a good position.
P4 has the kit. Down main stairs. Oh, this is so smart. They've Azami barricaded off the Ash rush wall.
He
can't run through. He cannot sprint in. Someone needs to look at him.
Oh, no, he's gone for it anyway. He's going for the plants. What is this from Wolves? Have Bliss heard it? They certainly have. Sage and can deny Mowgli. Meanwhile, Wedables denies the plant. 15 seconds for Wolves to desperately fight from a man disadvantage as Deadshot has picked up that diffuser once again. He's looking to contest Wettables, but he's not given the fight he's looking for. Wets found Shinka. Another kill now for Bliss. All on Bibu. He can't find a damn thing. Bliss have finally stemmed the bleeding and they finish the half. An even scoreline.
Oh man, what a solid defense that was from Team Bliss, even down to the little details of Oda blocking off the immediately rush onto the Ash Wolf, forcing P4 to make his way around. It just gave Bliss enough of a launch window to actually claim that kill, right? Just the small things that Bliss need to do to retain their composure against Wolves is what they need. Because at any time, the Wolf Pack could come running at you at any moment and you don't know, but if you've got stuff like your passive intel, like your barbed wire, like your dread mines, that Shinka didn't really seem to find once again through that mid-round, that is what is going to be the medicine that Bliss need.
The Wolves really are a pack, aren't they? They have such a beautiful play style all together, all committed to the single cause of enabling their teammates to force themselves a round win, whether that means prying it out of their opponent's cold dead hands. But Bliss are keeping pace here.
Here we go. Wolves now on their defending half. The side has swapped, and like we've been saying, this game is the tale of two halves. It has been so even between these two teams, and a scoreline tells that story as well. 3-3 half for Bliss on their defense, and they're going to have to find the same success that Wolves did on the attack, or better, to push it over the line.
Looks like it is a bit more of a loose roam here for Wolves, looking for those drones. Now, that's one thing that we haven't really talked a lot about, Mandy, earlier, but so many of these bans are expended on the wall denial operators like Bandit and Kaid. Azami's in, Solus is in, which we haven't seen, by the way. The Mirror's in. So many powerful operators that have snuck through this veto, including the Valkyrie, which is present here.
And that's exactly right, and that's why players like Brendo on the Bravo are so important, because there are so many electronic gadgets that are really great to be able to hack if you have those clutch drones in your hands. But, you know, like you said, on the side of the attack, because they don't really need to worry about getting these walls open, they don't really need to put a whole lot of redundancy. They have a lot of options elsewhere, especially in through the mid-round. That being said, for this particular bomb site, this is an exception. I think bringing the double hard breach is not a bad idea, Team Bliss. By having both the Hibana and the Thermite, it really opens up their options as they get in towards the basement. Not only are they going to be able to open up all the hatches, but they might also be able to get Wettables over on the triple wall to create a run-in hole and another opportunity for an execute.
Oh, that would be something to see. I haven't seen Thermite breach the triple church wall in a hell of a long time.
It's a thing that happens. That used to happen, not these days.
Maybe, you never know. I like this from Wolves, even just barricading these off-site doorways to try and slow down Bliss. Even if it only gives them an extra few seconds, it's going to be massively valuable in that late round.
Reloading. Mid-round work now for Team Bliss. Vertical pressure, and what's Brendo doing on the clutch drones? That's a big question here, because whatever he's going to be able to hack is also going to enable Bliss in for the execute. He's going to call then the point of least resistance that Bliss can then capitalize on. Here comes the bottom main stairs pressure. All three walls on the triple wall actually close, and so the pressure inside of short has actually been forfeited to Team Bliss, but Wettables instead is going to dedicate that exothermic charge all the way over in dirt. Bliss, what is the plan here? I can only imagine it's going to be a kitchen hatch drop from here on out.
Well, there's just so many players all over the map that it's hard to say where Bliss will commit. The question is, how is the setup from Wolves? Do they have enough fortification in these positions? There's still a smoke, 3 babes in pocket for Shinka.
There are 2 sets of grenades. If Bliss in these last 28 seconds can at least dislodge 1 or 2 of these anchors, it's going to make their lives so much easier as they try and drop the hatch. And it seems like that's what they're going for now. Both players with nades in their hands and cooking them.
15 seconds to go.
So he's looking for something here on dirt. The nade does not sink a kill. And Fisho Guy drops into the meat grinder. That player boosted up on the AKs. It's Mowgli once again. Traded on back. Sage might have this. It's a 3v3, but Deadshot springs up again. Oh, the C4!
Oh, man.
Oh, Shinka denies the plant regardless, but what a shot from Wettables to shoot off that C4. Wolves steal the round away regardless. Shinka barely denying the plant.
Oh man, Oda, I really thought that they had that. Holy moly, that was a nice shot on the C4. Jeez. Oh my god, that was so scary. Bliss, unfortunately, not finding success as the execute came through. All of the utility was for nothing. The flashbangs went through, but on the other side of the flashbangs was a Warden player, and he went, so anyway, I can see you, by the way, as you drop down the kitchen hatch. Brendo did a fantastic job coming in through blue, but he got shot down by the crossfire moments later, and then Oda almost securing that C4 plant before it went down. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for Bliss, and Wolves keep their composure in through the execute and can close out another round.
And they keep their lead as well. Remember that this map started with 2 in a row from Bliss. Since then, Wolves have found 4 of the last 5 rounds. This has been a fantastic game from Wolves thus far, piece by piece. It will not go down quietly. Deadshot now on the Solar, something we haven't seen a lot of thus far. And a very powerful operator, especially against Bliss. Bliss love banning out the Solus, but to our surprise, getting rid of the Bandit in both of the maps here that we've seen in the last 2. They are leaving that Solus up, and with Deadshot's current form, I'd be terrified going up against him.
That's a good point. I can't believe we haven't spoken about that yet, because Team Bliss basically only banned Solus, like on every map. I think this is the first time we've seen them deviate away from it in like most of stage 2. Alas, here we go. Gym and bedroom attack for Team Bliss. Wettables is going to get that Kennel's Breach open nice and easy. No resistance on the other side, as we've been speaking of, and it's gone. That's alright.
Indeed. Very easy to get a breach on. But clearing power positions is a whole nother ball game. This is gym and bedroom, the bomb site. And this is the jacuzzi wall that spelled doom for Bliss the last time they attacked this bomb site against Space Station. Failing to breach that wall was why they lost it. Oh no, Mowgli, what are you doing?
Where are you going, mate?
He was caught out in weights and quickly taken on down on a rotation. That is a big play to take down. Oh wow, Shinka's nearly lost his life as well.
Oh, I reckon they're sending in something in through logistics hatch here. Sage has burned both of his nades, and that sent Shinka down to about a slither of HP. So they are trying really hard to dislodge these players external from the map, and that's what Wettables has been able to do on the first one into Mowgli, but they want to find a little bit more success before they dedicate themselves to an execute. Now, if they want to go for a sweep... Oh, wait, what's going on there? I think Deadshot's just tried to go out for a run out on Brendo and has been taken down in the process, but Brendo's kind of stuck in his position, right? They can't really go for the sweep from here on out because P4 is here waiting to meet their resistance. Meanwhile, Oda, on the other hand, with his set of grenades, is going to try and do even more damage.
There's no need for a sweep from Bliss. All that's required is focusing up on the bomb site, identifying when are we going to be able to move in and look to try and threaten a plant. Meanwhile, the rest of Wolves are likely in position to try and deny, to try and hold on. Bibu finds one, can't get the second as he is traded on back. Shinka's such low HP, but meanwhile, P4's taking out Brendo. Oh, the timing, P4! You cannot get unluckier than that. 2 low HP Wolves to try and stave off Bliss, but Shinka has found one despite the low health. Fish needs to get into position, the sound cover, as he forces this plant down. Oda has to support his teammate, Fisho Guy. 1 second left on the plant. Oda spots the player, but is it going to be enough? Right around the corner, here comes Shinka, not aiming high enough. You got to get this shot, Oda, you got to land it. That's P4. But Shinka still remains. Fisho dispatches with him, and with that, an even scoreline once again.
Well-planned execute there from Team Bliss. Brendo, he had his job, and that was make sure no one can be on the Sui window, and that's about it, really. But the rest of Team Bliss then went, okay, these players on the bomb site are pretty dislodged at that point. They had all of the gridlock track stingers out inside of short. They can't rotate in through there. They know that Shinka's super low. Somewhere or another inside of Vox. That's two areas that they've zoned out from there on out. All they needed to do was make that brute force work in through bathroom, in through gym, that type of thing. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly where they had the numbers redundancy. They sent their way on in through. The frags were down in their way because they had done so much damage earlier on through the mid round, and they converted it. But they're taking their tactical timeout.
And I have the call from the producer as well that this tac timeout was actually called halfway through that round. Again, second time we've had that from Bliss.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Why is it that Bliss are choosing to take their tactical timeout before the round is done? Min Goran, of course, the coach, he's the one calling these tacs. And he decided when it was, 5v3? To take a tactical timeout right here. Win or lose for Team Bliss, he's going to take that tactical pause.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Very interesting. Ooh, sorry, that was a bit gross. You didn't hear that on the mic, hopefully.
No,
anyway.
certainly not.
They're going to reattempt over in gym and bedroom. Gosh, sorry. I've been a bit TMI, I feel like, recently.
It's your job to explain.
It is, but like, there's also oversharing. That's a thing that exists. That's a thing that is like very topical these days with, you know, society and stuff. We're not going to get political on the
I always love hearing your opinion on society and stuff.
We're not going to get political on the broadcast. Anyway, this is an interesting hold. This is very interesting from Wolves. Typically, these days, you don't see a rotate over on Garage. I guess in this instance, it kind of makes sense, right? Because you want to have a player over on Rafters to stop the extension, well, to stop the sweep from happening early on. But then he kind of doesn't really have a fall-off route, right? Whereas if you have, like, P4 here with the Azami of Mowgli might be able to plug up the breach and then get P4 back to safety as well, in through the rotate. Kind of old on Clubhouse. That's not a thing that you normally see these days. I kind of like the idea.
The thing that scares me here for P4 is as soon as this breach is open for Wettables and the garage door is open, then P4 has no escape.
No, he does, but that's the point in the rotate and the point in Azami, right?
How is he going to get out of dodge here? He's completely cut off.
That is true, because it is the Thermite hole. It's a big hole, as some might say, as Thermite himself might say. Mowgli, man, you gotta help him.
I mean, P4 is surely doomed to die here. Does he have to just try and play his position?
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
I guess he's dead.
I ever thought that's so bad, man.
I think you're right. If that was an ace hole, then Mowgli could have supported with Azami, but with the Thermite, it's just not going to happen.
Oh, man, I have not done so much overthinking in this tournament until just that.
I tell you what, guys, this girl right here wearing the Bliss shirt, she's overthinking like crazy.
Overthinking.
Because she has a team that she wants to win. Look, I love you guys, Wolves. I love all the French fans out there, but we got to admit, there is some bias at the moment in the server.
It's so unfair. It's really so unfair to the EU fans that are watching right now. Anyway, we're going to pretend that none of that is happening right now. We love Wolves. Let's go Wolves.
Unironically, I do love Wolves.
We do love the Wolves.
Great
when
team.
they're not beating the Aussies, we do like the Wolves.
Even then, Wolves, if they're able to make this work, they came back from a 6-0 deficit on the first map to now be in a position where they're fighting for the series, yet still. Now that is something I'm willing to get behind.
Team Bliss, they've looked for the sweep across the map and they've done it to great success, taking out P4 now in the man advantage. They're turning their attention in towards the bomb site, which is a repeat over in gym and bedroom. Wettables, he's still got one extra thermic charge in his pocket. So if he wants to rotate over and then put the pressure on Jacuzzi and see where he can go from there, he can certainly do so. But Shinka, feeling a bit worried about the pressure coming in from logistics. The way that Wettables is poised at the moment is making me think that Bliss maybe don't care that much about flipping their push over to Jacuzzi, as Wettables is able to collect another one over onto Mowgli, getting ants in his pants.
Yeah, it seems to be the devil for Mowgli these last few rounds. Sajon now clearing utility on this logistic hatch. Did it not get the dread mine?
No, I think it did clear the dread mine. I think that's the point, right?
What,
nice
Oda?
shot from Bibu.
Yeah, very nice shot. I don't know what Oda's doing now. He's found a second one. Bibu, Deadshot jumps in the fight as well. 1v2 now for the captain of the French team. He knows the info. Oh, that C4 just barely missed. Bliss, don't feed this one. Doesn't matter. Wettables lands the equation. A big kill. And on the back of their tactical timeout, Bliss have taken the lead once again.
If that didn't make you feel anxious, I don't know what you were supposed to feel in that round. My God, Bliss. That was a really nice to execute, a unique one. They didn't put a whole lot of pressure in from Jacuzzi. They just sort of sent someone around there a bit later on to see what was going on.
To prone in through the breach? Yeah, nice one, Oda.
Yeah, look. Look, the idea is you can't get too angry at Oda here, okay? Bibu is a sharp shooter, but you can't get too angry at him. The point in Bliss's attack there was that they wanted to go and flood in from Con, through the doorway, through Logi, whatever. That was the point in Sage nading off the dread mine that was going to prevent the hatch drop. Not just that, but while they were going to do that, Oda was like, all right, you guys are the big distraction. I'm going to go in for the backstab, but it didn't matter, Bibu was there anyway. But I really liked what Bliss did there. They went for this brute force style of attack, but it was calculated because they had such a great man advantage.
It's true. Bliss have had some really good attacks in this major so far. Wolves have also been phenomenal. And none more than in that Chalet game where they lost to Bliss. Their attacks were so good. The game is defense now, though, for the Europeans. And that's, unfortunately for them, the second in a row that they have lost. They won this Church and Arsenal defense fairly comfortably, right, Mandy? On the back of Mowgli boosted up near the AK rack. But aside from that, they have struggled.
Fisher Guy has had none of it. He's like, okay, I died on the way down because there was a warden and he shot me. That's not cool. So now he's gone onto the Ossa, because when you drop the hatch with the Ossa shield in front of you, you cannot die. Oh, there goes Sage anyway, onto Mowgli. Oh, it doesn't matter. Warden's off the cards anyway. Who cares?
Well, that's the thing. Like, Mowgli's got Anthony's past his last few rounds. He was playing so well when he just chose a role and played it on the defense. Now, on the attack, yeah, you have a license to roam, a license to lurk. But for Mowgli, he's just forfeited one of the win conditions for Wolves at staving off a flash execute.
That's not so good for Wolves as the mid-round does start to tick by for Team Bliss. Now you'd think, with the Ossa on the board, that they would be going in for something around kitchen. They don't have a whole lot of hard breach as well. Actually, well, I'm lying. They have a lot of hard breach. I've just lied twice. Anyway, Oda has also got hard breach on the Selma charges as well for Ace. So if they want to take the Ossa in through triple wall, they could also do that. Not only that, but if they wanted to, they could maybe get something working on Ashwall too, but they don't quite have the ranged explosives to make that work. It's probably going to be more focused in around the hatch and around triple than anything else.
This has been extremely diligent from Bliss, as Wolves are essentially just waiting for this push to come through. Keep in mind as well, Mandy, there's actually no Fenrir, which we have pointed out as incredibly influential on this bomb site. Now that Valkyrie camera inside a kitchen, taken down. Spotted out by the Bliss drones. And now they can work on this hatch.
He's going to do it. I'll tell you what. Fisher Guy is going to do the kitchen hatch drop with the Ossa shield. I could swear this is going to happen. But it's going to be about how well backed up it is by the rest of his team. What are they going to do about it? They need a player postured down at the main stairs to cover the cross. Not just that, but they need someone then on the hatch covering while Brendo goes in for the backstab in blue. If they can do all those things simultaneously, they might have the medicine that they need to secure this round. Shinka, with his smoke paves, is going to be the decider for the defense. Is he going to land them in a position that's going to make it really hard for Fisher Guy? And here goes Brendo.
Both nades go out, bit of damage done. Here comes Fish, as you said, Osa shield to protect him. Hang on, there's a player aggressively peeking. Wedables needs to find that. Wedables needs to support his teammate. He cannot see the player. In come the flashes, 25 seconds. This is it, Bliss. Match point or busts. And the drop comes through. Oh, Fisho guy dies. He's gassed out and he chokes the rounds. But it's not over yet. Shinka finds yet another one. Wedables goes down. Sagen must pick up the pieces. He's fallen. It's all up to Oda. 1v2. And it's a difficult clutch for him to pull off. But Bibu says, not today. Breakpoint once again. And Wolves are 2 rounds away from knocking out the Aussies.
And it was Shinka that was such the difference maker in that round. As soon as Fishogo dropped the hatch, he didn't have to die to Mowgli on the Warden, but instead, guess what? There is a gas babe in your face, and you are no longer safe from the SMG-11 of Shinka in that position, who has put up such a phenomenal game so far in this series. 11-7 is the scoreline for the anchor player of Wolves, and he just did such a great job at cutting in half the execute for Team Bliss.
That's Shinka on the right-hand side. He is looking anxious. I don't know what to tell you. The body language from him and Bibu, like, that tells you so much.
Oh, man. I mean, I feel anxious. This game is so close. 5-5.
I don't care who you support. This game is nail-biting. Like, actually, if you care about Wolves, if you care about Bliss, you are on the edge of your seat. You are tearing your hair out. You are biting your nails. And now Wolves, on this tactical timeout, Lulum has had a few choice words to say. I don't know what has been the name of the game for Wolves thus far in terms of getting themselves back into the mental, but they staved off match point just there. Now it's time to claim one for themselves.
Just saying that the B in Stream B stands for bussin'. We said this yesterday, and absolutely is. Anyway, we're going to go over to Cash and CCTV for Wolves at their next attempt at a defense. And like you said, if they do win this one out, they are going to put themselves on match points, qualification points, most importantly. Whoever wins this one just send themselves in through to the playoffs, in through to stage 2. Phase 2, sorry. Stage 2 happened.
I mean, it's all the same. Let's be real. Now let's see if Mowgli can figure out how to tame this beast within him. Because a lot of these defenses have been a little bit much, a little bit over-aggressive, and he's on Fenrir, which is really an operator you want alive into the late round so that you can adjust the locations of the gadgets. He looks to be playing very aggressively on this Fenrir, in fact. Will he really survive until the late round to activate them?
Maybe so. We'll have to wait and see how he plays. He's actually not looking for the roam himself. So, like you pointed out, you want the Fenrir not to really like be playing on top of the Fenrir gadgets, but to manage them so his teammates can use them, right? That's the idea. That's why Mowgli's fallen back off in towards the bomb site, and he's left whatever one of his teammates, I think 2 of the teammates, over on the other side of the map to go and have some fun with the Shadow Realm, right? Anyway, here goes Wettables on his approach in to the CCTV breach, and that's opened up pretty easily for himself. Meanwhile, Fisher Guy, the other set of hard breach, I think he's actually opened up the rafters wall with that.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. This is a really good idea, right? Because by opening up the second rafters wall, he can then dislodge the player inside of rafters too. But yes, like you've been pointing out, it is being shot by the player at top red. I think that's Mowgli himself, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, there we go. So they're really protecting this rafters hold.
It's not easy to shoot those charges as well. You have to get into a really specific angle for the defense. Credit to them, though. Wolves have denied that avenue from Fish. Oh, player spotted in the lounge. That's Mowgli, of course. Like we said, he cannot help himself. He's been droned once again. But I don't think anyone from Bliss is in a position to take him down. As I say that, Waitables jumps in.
Nowhere to go.
And Oda is looking to support. Oda has to make good on this commitment. Mowgli's taken out. Sage gets the killing blow, and that's a good start for Bliss.
Well-identified weakness going in on the ground floor is Mowgli, and there was no one there to support him at all, and now they're going to turn their attention in towards Garage. They've seen the resistance over on Con, they've seen the Fenrir gadgets and whatever's going on down there, and they're like, we have none of that business, and instead they want to have a go at this Rafters. Now, the danger in trying Rafters here is that there's an Azami setup, and I think there's not only 1, but 2 players inside of the Rafters. So really, Bliss, they could be playing into the hands of the defense here if they're not careful about it. But that's the point in having Sage on the Capital to then go and dislodge these players inside of Rafters and feed the kills to his teammates.
The Wamai isn't playing Rafters, which means there might not be enough magnets to stave off the utility from Sagen. Remember, we have a Capital on the board. This would be the perfect tool to displace P4.
Tough spot now for Bliss. What are they going to do? There's only 40 seconds left to go. They could try and brute force their way in through the breach, or they could be methodical about Rafters. Brendo's going to send in a bit of utility, and Fisher Guy has the bomb. That's making me think they are going to go for it.
Oh, Oda goes in. He finds a nade at the top of red stairs. P4 still survives. Both of the players remaining for Wolves sit at top Rafters, and Oda can lock them out. The diffuser for Brendo. It must go down onto the site. Where's the cover? Bibu finds one. Wettables is taken out, but Oda to find the final one. Match point and series points for the Aussies.
They are just 1 round away now. 1 more attack for Team Bliss to send themselves into Phase 2. What an excellent attack that was for Team Bliss. They read through the late round. All right. We kind of messed up here on our call because Rafters is kind of hard to take. We don't want to step our way into Garage because they would not be safe doing that. And Fisher Guy was like, Brendo, you feeling good about the breach right now? Because I'm feeling good about the breach right now. And they sent it. They made it double trouble on their entry in. And Oda really went in for that backstab to seal that execute for Team Bliss.
Match point or overtime. Certainly know what the French want to see. I tell you what, there's a couple of people that work for Ubisoft that are big fans of this French team. I know they're impartial, but they would love to see this team win. As for the Aussie communities, I think I know what they want to see. Raise your koalas. Raise your fucking koalas, guys.
If you're an Australian in the chat right now, yeah, y'all are real ones. We love you guys. We're going to go back to CCTV and Cash. A brave choice here for Wolves in their potentially final defense. Final disqualification points. They're going to repeat the same bomb site that they just lost, feeling confident that they have the formula this time around. Early pressure onto bottom Garage comes out from Sage with the tin can openers. Wettables as well with their exothermic charges should pretty easily be able to open up this CCTV wall. So far, deja vu. Nothing's changed all too much.
Wettables is waiting. Remember, no Bandit, no Hayid. So there's no reason to be too cautious around these exothermic breaches. A reattempt on CCTV seems like a dangerous affair. Oh, look at the adaptation.
Oh, but the impact.
Oh, it's genius. The smoke to
Do
cover.
it again, people.
The impact to try and cover once again.
Well, there are 3 Selma charges and only 2 impacts. Surely that means the wall is open, and yes, it is.
Wow.
That's P4 in a really tough spot now.
Genius idea, though, from P4. He was perfect. I mean, adaptation meets adaptation. Bliss countered the shooting of the Selmas by smoking it, and then the counter once again for P4 by impacting it. Fortunately, Bliss, they do get the better of that hole, but P4 can simply clog it up with keeper barriers.
Nice micro from Mowgli, realizing that it is going to be a garage take here for Bliss. They are going to try and take out P4, and his situation is going to try and help him out by activating some of those Fenrir charges down inside of the ground floor. Mowgli himself as well is going to reposition down inside of Mini to play that cross with P4 and make sure that he's alive for a little bit longer. Oh my goodness, that was a little bit scary onto Brendo on the other side.
Mowgli is such an important player for Wolves. He either wins or he falls. There is nothing in between, and Oda is his first victim.
Danger zone now for Team Bliss with a minute left to go. Deadshot's going to claim the second, but Wedables is in the middle of the side.
Oh, Wedables! He's found two. He's shut down. Brendo and Sage in the brothers to close it out, but he chokes it at the final hurdle. And Sage has no choice but to smack down this keeper barrier. The fuser on the ground as he walks through the gas. Another one meets him. And he must pick this back up. The kit in hands. 3 players to find. They will give him nothing. And he has to take these fights one by one straight again into the meat grinder. Deadshot says, you know what, guys? I think it's about time for another overtime.
Oh my goodness, Wolves. You have kept yourselves alive at the brink of defeat. What composure they had in the final few seconds of the round. That was a crazy execute there from Bliss. They sent it in through the mid-round. They thought that they could repeat the same tricks twice, but it doesn't work on the Wolves. They were ready for that breach rush that time as it came in through the mid-round, and they shut them down for it.
Wolves are so composed.
Attackers need to locate and defend.
They started this half with the win, and then they lost 2 defenses in a row. Match point against them, it doesn't matter. They ice up. Mowgli's been so hot and cold. He's got 11 kills, that's a lot, but he's also got 12 deaths. And even though he found 1 kill there at the start of the round, it was not enough for him to call it a day. Wolves in the dying moments. Once again, Shinka has been one of the MVPs of Wolves. He plays it so well when he's got that gas in hand. Now he's on the Fenrir, another big brain operator.
10 seconds to
and we go to another defense for Wolves.
Blitz and Grim in the lineup for Team Bliss. Now, Dev, I don't know what you think's going to happen.
Attackers
But
must
I hope you
locate
can
and
tell me,
defuse a
because
bomb.
I don't know.
This is why I moved into play-by-play casting, Mandy. I've got you to tell me what the hell's
I'm
going on.
asking you the wrong questions, that's what you're telling me.
Well, yes, it's a nice idea with Wedables on the blitz, but Mowgli is on the Solar, so if he's in the right spot, he will be able to see that blitz coming from a mile away. Dirty soft, as you say. This is so tempting now for Bliss.
Let him in. Let him in. Oh, he's going to let himself in. He's got a breach charge. That's exciting.
Might drone himself forward. It's not an easy position to play as a blitz. Oh, this drone's not spotted. That's such a power drone.
Oh, no, he's seen it. Shinka's seen it. I'll tell you what. Oh, no, he hasn't.
No clue.
Wedables is having a big, long think about this, and he's just come to his team. Guys, skip the roam clear. Go to blue right now. And I can only imagine that's what 2 players are posturing up for at the moment for Team Bliss. Wedables is going to creep his way on through. Oh,
They know.
but his push is suddenly made aware to Wolves as that Fenrir gadget has gone off. He might have been too preemptive on it.
He may have. There's also a Vulcan canister on the doorway that P4 can easily detonate as soon as he sees that the blitz is at bay. Wedables, he's got so much info, but what to do with it? That's the begging question.
This is a tough spot for Bliss. They've got a lot of decision-making to do here. Do they commit to the opportunity that Wedables has? Or is the opportunity that Wedables has not good enough? That's what Fisher Guy on the IGL needs to decide. We can see him on his drone work right now, trying to confirm Wedables' decision, and it seems like they're going to double down on it. They want to hit the bomb site, and they are posturing for it right now.
Sage creeping forward. Wedables is here too. But the Vulcan canister on the door will surely make it impossible. And so they must wait 20 seconds before they make any action. Oda's made his way in through Oil Pit. You're right, this is indeed a massive commitment. There are still roamers at large. Wolves will have to flank. And the roamers will need to have an impact as well. The anchors themselves will need to keep Bliss at bay for long enough.
They're setting up Brendo here. They know that Brendo is going to be the difference maker either through blue or to keep the flankers at bay. Fisher Guy with the diffuser is on and above the hatch and he really wants to get in, but here goes the flood from Brendo.
Oh,
He's
Mowgli.
caught in the Shadow Realm, but Sage can open things up.
A good trade, but Shink is good. Sage for a double. Oda low HP as Wolves with their advantage peel on back. That diffuser is not within either of these players' clutches. Sage on. He found the first 2 openers and he is hungry for more. He goes deep into sight. and he finds nothing. A breach with the sledgehammer. The nade comes out, but will he find the kill? He's shut down. Dead shot. A massive kill once again. Oda finds one. 2 more to find. He's got no clue that there's more in Moto. And one player far above. Shinka gets the closing kill. And with that, we get what we deserve. We deserve every damn round out of this game.
And Bliss, unfortunately, just fumbling the bag a little bit with that execute as it came through the walls with an excellent retake, identifying that Bliss decided to commit in towards that dirt push. It was a big call. It was a brave call for Team Bliss to go for something like that, but the Wolves, they were on top of it, and they stemmed the bleeding, and they are going to send themselves to another match point, qualification point, but Bliss are going to get the defense, and they're going to try and repeat what Wolves just did.
And Bliss was so good at doing so. Wolves only successful on a Church and Arsenal attack just the one time. Now, Wolves themselves have been perfect on it. All 3 times they've played it, indomitable. Now Bliss will have to have an adequate reply. They don't have match point. They will have to fight back. They will have to fight for it. Wolves are in a commanding position now. Their first series point today. And the first chance that they have had to lock in the playoffs.
All right, here we go, Team Bliss. They are leaning in to the bomb site itself. They're not looking for much of a roam. Yes, there's a couple friendly gadgets over on the ground floor, but they're not going to stay active for long. Sage is going to micro those as the mid-round plays through. Once again, we've got that Sage versus Shinka minigame happening in through the mid-round with Shinka on the Twitch drones. That's what we're going to worry about a little bit later. But Oda, do not give away your life. You've seen Mowgli enter into the building within 20 seconds of the round. Do not let him walk in. And yep, there he goes. A different entry point every time. And Mowgli's made his way on all the way into Master.
Is there info enabling this, or is Mowgli just taking the gamble?
No, he's got pre-place. That's what Shinka's on right now.
Wow. And immediately onto his own drones as well to scout forward. Wolves, ever so quick. They're so pacey in the first 30 seconds of the rounds. Already a player at the top of main stairs, but Bliss, full anchorage.
Afforded a lot of control have Wolves been given as they can start to work through this mid-rounds. Bibu is going to make his way inside a kitchen to then go and work the kitchen hatch, and it's dead shot. Of course, the one on the sledge droning at the moment, just setting up a couple of flanks as it stands before he can start to get to work on the vertical. A lot of time at the moment for Wolves to make this plan phase work. Last time around, they tried to go for a cheeky Ash wall rush plant type thingy, but Bliss were ready for that eventuality. Now the question here is, under the pressure, are Bliss going to be ready for the rest of the eventualities that Wolves are going to bring out here? There's so many options because they have so much time to do it and so much time to prep for it.
And these Twitch drones roll on in again. Legion mines, Dread mines, well, my magnets, slew of utility to clear. I think he got one of the Dread mines, but none of the magnets.
That's good. That's one activation down. And that means that the position inside of blue, the entry to come in from blue is going to be made much easier.
Oh, you get a second one?
No. I think that was the one Dread Mine. Maybe he did get a wall mine, a Dread Mine. Unless there were 2 of them in here.
I think there were 2 indeed.
That's really solid. This is excellent. This is an excellent position for Wolves. Blue has a tendency to be the linchpin of every attack. And Wolves going into the 5 versus 5 execute. These guys are the late game kings. Surely they can convert this one, realizing that blue is now a point of less resistance with those Dread Mines taken away.
And here goes Mowgli. The nades, the smokes, the spam. It's exactly what Wolves are looking for to enable their star player. Snaking on through oil. Mowgli ever so patient, 30 seconds now.
And here he goes, Mowgli with the entry, but can he find one? Yes, he can. No, he can't. Oda find first, and Brendo to double down with the second.
Wolves, they've fallen flat on their faces, but Bibu's given them a lifeline. Mowgli desperately looking for something. He gets it, but it's going to need to be a hell of a lot more than that. 2 players on the ground is not enough. Bliss push us to round number 15. And we need every goddamn round out of this game to sort out a winner.
And how deserving this series is of a 15-round map 3 between these 2 teams. What a rivalry we have told in this series alone, in this major alone. They started out together in that upper bracket, and now Wolves have a grudge against this team that they want to fix.
They have a score to settle. There is no doubt about it. Wolves, for 4 majors in a row and for the 6th Invitational, they managed to get to the playoffs. At SI, a 5th place finish. Their best ever performance. Mowgli's played this game for longer than anyone, and he has never raised the trophy. Will that change now? Well, Wolves are going to have to get out of the bloody play-ins first, and there's a bunch of Aussie larrikins standing in their way.
Oh man, we're going to go over to Gym and Bedroom as well. I'm so nervous. I'm so scared.
Gym and Bedroom on the defense for Wolves. Unsuccessful in both of the times that they played it earlier in this game. Bliss owned this bomb site on their attack. Can they do it a third?
Tell you what, my Hebes have been GB'd. My Hebes are being GB'd right now. Team Bliss have been really good at attacking this bomb site. You just pointed it out in the stats. And for the final round, the final round of this series, Wolves are going to take us to Gym and Bedroom. I'm scared. I feel fear.
As do all of these players in the server, but push that to the back of your mind. You cannot let the fear win.
Here goes Wettables to open up the CCTV wall routine so far, Team Bliss. Fisher Guy on the other side does have the other set of hard breach in the form of the Selmas, and he's going to work the jacuzzi wall on his own. Very nice. So 2 points of pressure immediately put out for Team Bliss. The real question here is which one of these pressure is going to be real pressure and which one is phantom pressure, right, for Team Bliss. That's what Wolves have got to worry about here. Which breach do they have to look at now? Meanwhile, the rest of the Team Bliss players are 2 sets of nades. So they want to be using this balcony control that they now have with the breach open to see if they can unlock the bomb site by claiming the lives of some of these anchors.
Bliss study this bomb site piece by piece. Where is our in? Is it to sweep? Is it to press gently until we sense a weakness?
There's a science to this attack. There really is. It feels like we're watching like a dissection happen right now. But where is the first incision going to be for Team Bliss? And it seems like the map sweep is where it's going to come from. The wall now open for Brendo inside of Con is going to allow his way in towards Con. But behind the Con wall is the rest of the resistance of Team Wolves.
So much information for Mowgli. He's playing so passively on the bomb site, so unlike him. But he's keen for a kill. He's keen for something. It's so unlike Mowgli. It's not in his nature to sit on site and play a position. He needs freedom to move.
This is where the explosives need to come into play for Team Bliss. They need to start sending these nades into the bomb site, and they need to start to get Brendo's explosive charges in on these Azami barricades. Nice info for Oda. That's going to open up some of the bombs. Oh, but there's one down below, and that is the opening pick of the final round going down to Biru. But there are 2 players at the moment in the ground floor. Bliss could hit it, but not if Deadshot will shut them down.
Sagen, he takes down that C4. Brendo's found the opener, and his big brother moves on in. He almost finds 1 kill, but Deadshot finds his head. Fisher Guy and Brendo now, with the weight of a region on their shoulders in a 2 versus 4.
They're really starting to feel the gravity of the bomb site pulling them now with only 25 seconds left to go. And here goes Brendo into the Shadow Realm. Shut down. Shinka on the other side.
And it's up to Brendo now to do what nobody else can do. Wolves let out a howl. It would not be a major without these guys down into the playoffs. Dreams crushed for Australia as the French march on forward within this major.
They fought long, they fought hard. It took 3 maps and 15 rounds in the last one to do it, but the Wolves show us their composure right at the end to win the one pivotal Gym and Bedroom defense that they needed, the only one of the map to push it over the line for Team Wolves.
A well-deserved victory for Wolves. They look utterly shattered after that game. Deadshot will not even get up out of his chair. Wolves have not been tested like that for quite some time. They've made it out of the play-ins, but not without the most tumultuous of challenges. Smiles all around on both teams as we see Bliss, their heads held high after a successful major despite going home without a playoffs entry.
Oh man, what a crazy series that was. Absolutely deserving of map 3 and all 15 rounds for sure. That was such a tight-knit battle between these 2 teams. An exciting one for both of us, but a bit of heartbreak.
Oh, absolutely. Like, not going to deny it. Like, I'm absolutely heartbroken right now. but Wolves deserve that win. They really do.
Yeah.
Bliss have really shown what they're capable of, but Wolves have shown that they're able to bounce back. They made that lower bracket run work. They started against Wolves. They had a massive advantage in the opening game, did Wolves, against Bliss, and then Bliss reverse swept them 5 rounds in a row. And so Wolves said, how about we return the favor and reverse sweep you in the BO3 to eliminate you. Space Station and Wolves exit Group D.
Oh, well, what a story it has been between these two teams. No one expected Bliss to be able to take down Wolves in that first series, and then they did in overtime. And then now in this final grudge match, Wolves will get their revenge. Oh man, you couldn't ask for anything better.
And it very much could have gone the other direction as well, even coming down to that gym and bedroom. Final round, Wolves had not yet won a defense of that bomb site in this map. Bliss had won their attacks on it both times they played it. And yet in that mid-round, kill after kill, Wolves did not give up. And Deadshot, honestly, he might not be the top fragger, but damn, he is the top fragger, never mind.
Hey.
I was going to say, Deadshot had an absolutely unbelievable performance.
Oh man, this guy, well, look, we said in the middle of the match that we rate Deadshot as the pickup. I feel like
Best
we just
pickup
got
they could ask
proven
for.
right. This guy is so consistent on his shots. He knows how to shoot people straight, and he did that in that final series. He was just in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And in that final round, he got the 2 impact kills as they tried to execute it onto the bomb site to close it out for Wolves.
And on the flip side of that, Wedables, 16 kills on his major debut for a guy that previously had only ever played in like mid-tier OS teams, never played officials against international teams before, not even played an official in APAC, by the way. He never played in APAC South. He's never played against Japanese, Korean, Thai teams before. This was his first foray on the international stage. He played Wolves and Space Station, and he can be incredibly proud with his performance, as can the whole of Bliss. But this is a moment for Wolves. A 2-1 victory as they survive the group of death. I don't know if it was the group of death, but it certainly felt like it for a moment. It was Group D after all. Wow. Wolves are going to be very happy that they've made that work. And now they look to the future. They bailed out early in the previous major. They were unable to make it to the main stage. That is their goal this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys, they really want to break in past that top 8. Consistently in 2022, we were seeing them on the stage in these quarterfinals, but they couldn't be champions. And now with taking Rise out, putting P4 on the IGL, bringing in some more gun power on Deadshot, they have forged their new identity, and hopefully this one is a winning one.
Very much. Well, we had Goliath win in this David and Goliath matchup, but there is another one going on the A stream right now. Dark Zero from North America versus Fury from Thailand, and I've heard that we're gone to map 3 and it is a banger, so let's check it out.